microphone makes your beard look huge, Brandon.
It is huge.
It is a huge beard.
It goes all the way over here.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, you can see it.
Nice try. Try again, Sir Roderick Castle, former best beard on any broadcast medium.
Yeah.
With your little tie-around beard.
That was my favorite character in Game of Thrones. Well, second favorite.
Spoiler
alert. It was my
Orpheus.
second favorite.
It was your second favorite.
Hello. So we're going to play some Dresden Files, and hopefully everybody likes it that's watching it now or in the future or in the past.
If you are a time traveler?
Pastomancer. Pastamancer.
Phil Biscotti.
Oh, God.
Gotcha.
So we already made the world and made the characters. We're going to upload that to our YouTube and to the Twitch videos, so you can watch that if you want. It's chock full of fun stuff. And so why don't you guys just go ahead and introduce your characters and just give a general who they are, what they are, and
why they are,
and why they are, and how they are, and when they are,
and where they are at this moment.
Yes, currently.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. Yeah. So do you want to start anyone? Doesn't matter who.
Yeah. My character's name is Heather Clearwater. She's a wedding planning emissary of Aphrodite. Her trouble aspect is a hopeless, old-fashioned romantic. So she believes in romance and things like marriage.
But not traditional marriage values.
Not traditional marriage values. She's not in the 50s. She's more in the 50 BCs. If that
and they were okay with gay people.
They were okay with gay people. Yep.
Yeah.
Greek times.
Yeah.
She's not a bigot. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, she's not a bigot.
Yeah, please.
Please.
We're trying to be good. We are good people. Great. How old is she? I don't remember.
She's 30.
Cool. Gross.
Ugh.
BC.
30 BC.
The comic book. Strip. All right.
I'm playing Audrey Fenway, who is a werecat and student at not University of Arizona State.
ASU.
Yeah,
Go Sun Devils.
Go Sun Devils. And I work for the school newspaper, and I am 19 and a half. Years old.
So she's a sophomore?
Yeah.
Good.
She goes by half years also.
Yeah.
Still. She's a baby.
I'm 19 and 2 months.
I'm 19 and 3/4.
Did you name the newspaper? Did you want to name? What's the name of the newspaper?
Oh,
I don't know
I
what it
forgot to
actually
It's
is.
a real thing.
It is. I forgot to write it down. I can look it up.
Something really boring.
It was like
Go Sun Devils.
Yeah.
It was like
It wasn't even like the Sun
Wasn't
Devils.
No, it wasn't even
something like
mascot themed.
State News or something?
Or like this, yeah.
it was like the daily paper.
Well,
It was-
we'll deal with that later.
We'll figure that out later.
Cool. Brandon.
I'm playing Phil Biscotti, also known as what did I decide?
The Candy Man?
The Cane D Man.
Oh.
He's the Cane Master. He's trying to get a cool glass blowing nickname, but he hasn't gotten it yet. So he's trying a lot of different nicknames out. And he's a silicomancer hippie, which means he can manipulate sand and glass. And he is a glass blower, so that's how he sort of came by that ability.
Mm-hmm.
And his trouble aspect is not a sheeple man, comma, not a sheeple man.
Not a sheeple man, comma, end of sentence.
End of sentence. Yeah, he's just kind of like an anti-authoritarian old hippie. He used to follow around bands in his Vanagon. So he basically, eschews all the fun society things that most people like running water and having a paycheck that happens often, and things like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hates running water.
and paychecks.
Loves paychecks.
Loves paycheck, hates running water. So we won't go too deep into what the world is because we did a whole episode on that, but we're set in Tempe, Arizona, the place that we've all maybe been to never once or maybe less. I've been there once.
Tempe, Arizona.
I
Never
spent
once.
3 days camped out in front of the Tempe Improv to audition for Last Comic Standing.
Oh
yeah.
God, I forgot about that.
They were not interested in me.
Wait, did you tell that starfish joke?
I don't even know what I did. Not important. Bad memories. I spent 3 days only eating In-N-Out and Einstein's bagels, and it really destroyed me.
Oh, I'm
like
48.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's
yeah,
like an
yeah,
old
good.
hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wishes he was from the 60s, but he wasn't. So but he kind of glommed onto that.
That's funny.
Much
That's really
younger
good.
than my
He's
real dad.
like a generation out of time.
It's
He's like
yeah.
that's funny. Cool. So yeah, Tempe, Arizona. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I think we had established that the way that you three kind of know each other is that you work together. You're a wedding planner. You do like centerpieces and maybe occasionally help out for a couple bucks.
Occasional cater waiter.
Yeah, and then you act as a wedding photographer just to kind of like.
/ investigative journalist.
Yeah, you're well, of course. That's just what pays the bills. Sometimes is gives you a little extra spending money.
Yeah.
Well, being an investigative journalist doesn't pay the bills because it's for a student.
Well, sure.
A student paper.
That's
No,
why
but I
you-
do get class credit for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 units per semester.
pays
And that's
credits.
what it is.
And that's like saving.
And then you
Your
gotta,
money
like,
doesn't work here. Only class credits.
And that's why you gotta like sometimes moonlight as a wedding photographer so that you can save up so that in 1.5 years you can buy alcohol.
Yep. Counting down the months.
Counting down the months. Cool. So, where we start here is we are at a wedding. And
Pee-wee.
wedding copyright infringement.
Well, that was halfway between Pee-wee and Kermit, so I think we're okay.
It's the wedding of Pee-wee and Kermit.
Pee-wee the frog here.
And Kermit Herman.
Yeah, Hermy Herman. Great. This is good content so far. So we start at a wedding, and you three, I assume, know that you're all kind of have a supernatural element to you. Let me ask you this: are the things that you can do, are they hidden from each other? Are they hidden from the world? Like, what is your personal stances on that? Do you three know that each other, I assume, are more than just human, or does anybody know? Is it a public thing? How do you all feel about that?
I think mine is not a public thing, but I think these guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's been doing too much investigating, and she
Real
found out.
hardcore investigating.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I tried to make it public when I was interviewed about my glass blowing, and I said I use magic, but they just figured that I'm a dumb.
We changed it to say that you use crystals.
Good. Yeah. Which is maybe not untrue.
Yeah, not untrue.
Cool. So good.
As long as they're quartz,
I'm not
which
sure
is
that
made out of.
people would know of my abilities since I present mostly as a human, though.
People in general.
Yeah.
Or them as well.
I guess both.
Interesting. So to them, you're just some photographer
Yeah,
/
just
journalist.
an annoying journalist.
19 and a half. Cool. All right.
I try to keep up on the local magic people because I'm a member of the Paranet.
Did you just add that to your...
Yes, I did.
Give me a fake point back.
I
then.
will, buddy.
There goes your refresh.
Goodbay.
1/3 of it.
Goodbye. Where's all the rest of it? Doesn't matter.
They're right behind you. Yeah, you got them.
Cool. So you begin at our tale begins at a wedding, and this is not a regular wedding. It is a regular wedding, but it's not of regular necessarily people. This is the wedding of the daughter of the Greek god Apollo. She is his daughter with a mortal woman. You all know that Apollo currently lives in the area. There's a connection. The city of Tempe is named after the Vale of Tempe, which is a place in ancient Greece where Apollo and the Muses specifically lived. And there is some kind of mystical connection there, and everything that was there has kind of instilled itself in this area as of recent. It's
Or
kind of-
Apollo has tried to make it so.
Exactly. Yeah, he's come here because of the connection. Like this is a part of his domicile. Is Tempe is connected to the Vale of Tempe. So this is the wedding of Apollo's daughter, Sarah Solomon, who you would all know. She's the, not personally probably, but know of. She's very kind of out and about socialite. And she is marrying a mortal. And it's kind of a big to-do. The guests are Apollo himself is going to be here, as well as much of the cult of Apollo. Cult sounds bad, but it's
employees.
Yeah. Cult sounds bad, but that's just what it is. It's just the cult of Apollo.
It's a pagan cult, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of high-profile people here, a lot of people that are involved in that, a lot of people that are just business associates. He runs First Solar, which is a company in town that provides solar paneling and is kind of like riding the wave of like renewable energies. Ride the wave. And yeah, so you've been hired to be the wedding planner on this event, and you've brought on both Phil and Audrey to do the jobs that they do so love to do.
Am I on this to cater waiter, or am I just supposed to be dropping off the...
Your call. Whatever you prefer.
Sure, yeah.
I'd say maybe stick around. Have a reason to stick around either way.
Leftovers.
Even if you just want leftovers,
I do.
That is a perfectly valid reason to be hanging out.
Yeah.
And you're photographing.
Yeah, but also investigating.
Always.
Always.
I think it's safe to assume you're always
So
investigating.
who's the husband? Is he like a...
So the husband is a guy named Jordan, last name Carlisle. I realized he's the only one I forgot to name.
Jordan Peele.
Guess I'm the real investigator here.
I wanted to say Jordan Black, who is also an actor, but that's a person. I'm just going to readjust this real quick so I can see what people are saying. We are stoked to see anybody playing a game of Fate 2. Come on in for the ride.
Come on in, hop on.
Great. Now that we've got Jordan Carlisle's name set, we can keep going. So she's married a man named Jordan Carlisle, who is not somebody who's like a major like figure in town. He's a guy. He's a young guy. He's kind of an amateur songwriter.
Oh, okay.
He's like one of those like I'm gonna. Just like the big break's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
I was marrying a very rich woman.
He's like super like handsome, like kind of like dumb looking guy. Like
He's her arm candy.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's got 3,500 views on his YouTube song channel,
Nice.
and like he's but a couple more every day.
And that's what it's
Who
called.
knows?
Song channel.
Yeah,
One of those
Jordan's
could be BMI.
body mass index.
The music company? BMI.
Oh,
Sure. That's what he. No, I'm saying that's what he thinks. He's like, who knows?
I will say his hit song is called Body Mass Index.
Yes.
Where he sings about his body mass index, which is very low.
And
Is that good?
Low is good? I think high is bad.
Yeah, I think low is good.
I think no.
Well, there's
which
a-
is
you
in
can
the
be
proper
too low.
range.
Yeah.
He sings about a girl he used to date who had low self-esteem due to body image issues and how he fixed her.
Oh,
Oh.
he totally does. He
Oh, is
totally
he gonna
does.
play the wedding? Oh God, is he gonna play the wedding?
No, Apollo's going to play the wedding.
Apoya.
Apollo. So you've been setting up, and Sarah has been. I just realized your name is Sarah. That was an accident. That's fine. Sarah Solomon, the character, Apollo's daughter, has been a little bit demanding in terms of like she's very strict on what she wants. She's been very clear that she wants this to be a spectacular affair, and that kind of everything, not like gaudy, but this is like.
But gaudy, because she's a demigod.
Exactly. Yeah. Like she's been very. There's been a lot of like. You don't understand. I'm the daughter of Apollo, and this is going to go perfect.
Yeah, like this is one where I have to wear an earpiece to keep everybody
Exactly.
coordinated.
You are currently wearing an earpiece. Write it down.
Earpiece.
All right.
Aspect, wearing an earpiece.
I compel it. Great.
I compel it to make it go.
Your ears too hurt.
Take 40 damage.
Cool. Great. So the wedding, we're gonna kind of zip through the wedding. It's been fairly standard affair. Apollo came out at the beginning to sing, and he is a god, and he is a god of music, and it is like a beautiful thing, and the crowd is awed, and he is like just like soaking it in. And Apollo is this like greasy, like dark, like, you know, like those older guys who like have their hair is too dark, and it's like you dye your hair,
Yeah.
like, but you're really proud of your dark hair even though it's not real, like that kind of guy. And he's like a little, not lounge singery exactly, but he's like,
But of that era.
he loves the affection of the crowd who's like eating up his singing. And he's singing tales of himself and his exploits and the myths and like what his children have done, and he just all about like him and his line and his lineage and his tales.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. So we get to the actual ceremony itself. So what are you guys doing during the actual ceremony?
I mean, I'm running around everywhere making sure everything is in order for,
Great.
after.
I'm sitting in the kitchen, like on the counter.
Sitting on the counter. Good.
I'm periodically also going back there and like spritzing him with a perfume.
Gross.
Because you don't like patchouli?
'Cause I don't-
And I'm trying to stay out of the way, but also trying to find good spots to get the shots that they've asked for.
That's
Which
right.
is very difficult to do
Yes.
because of Apollo's daughter's requirements.
And you notice too, like, and you're a little worried about this for later, but you notice, like, assume you have like a digital camera. So
Yeah.
you notice like all the pictures, like, if Apollo's like in the picture, there's kind of like a flare off of it.
Flare.
It's like
I
getting
keep
caught
having
in
to
the
adjust
camera.
like my white balance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's rough. Like, some of these pictures are getting washed out by like basically like a little sun standing there. Yeah, so we get through the ceremony, and everything's kind of going normal. Apollo is there to like walk Sarah down the aisle, and she once she appears, she comes in this bright orange red dress. Like, it is like a statement of a, like, she is the sun goddess's daughter, and this is her wedding. There's no white dress. It's a red, orange, flaming dress, essentially. Not on fire, actually. But, and she walks down the aisle towards Jordan, who is like beaming with like a dumb little like, meh.
Beaming with dumb.
Beaming with dumb, and gets to the altar, and the priest, who is a priest of Apollo, dressed in a dark crimson red as well, begins a very traditional Apolloween ceremony in everything that
Happy
entails.
Apolloween.
Happy Halloween! No.
Begin with carving Apollo jack-o'-lantern.
That's how it starts. Yeah.
They put their hands into each side of the Apollo jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
And it comes out with rings on it.
Ugh. And it's a lot of like, you know, a candle, and they pass their hands over the like that.
A lot of flame
Yeah.
symbolism.
A lot of flame symbolism. A lot of
Uh,
like joining together in the flame, like two fires. Wow.
And when they like light a candle and it's supposed to say "Live forever," it does.
Yeah.
Live forever.
So the ceremony ends with the two of them joining two candles together and like putting the flames as one and lighting a third candle. And with that, they become unioned, or however is a good way to say it.
Hand-fasted.
Hand-fasted. So the two of them put the two candles together in a moment, and the flame joins as one on this third candle, and the fire on the candle begins to kind of grow and grow and grow until it's, you know, much larger, and they're kind of standing back.
The size of a human head?
A little bigger than that, like the size of a torso.
Okay.
How big is the can? Is this
This is a
disproportionate?
candle.
Okay.
This is a candle.
Normal candle.
This is a normal, like a thick candle, but a
a
candle.
good Yankee candle.
A good Yankee candle, scented like
The
pines.
Sunny beach.
Sunny beach.
Sunny beach.
So Jordan and the priest of Apollo take a step back. Sarah does not take a step back, but she is clearly like wondering what is going on here.
Looking at her dad.
Looking to her dad. The guests are kind of a little, there's kind of a murmur of like, what the hell is going on type of thing. And Apollo bolts up in his chair, and he shouts out, What trickery is this, using my own fire against me? And as he says that, the fire bursts into a giant circle of flame.
Okay.
And a quartet of small blazing demons leap out of it.
Oh, okay.
Like a hoop or like a filled-in circle?
Like a filled-in circle, like
Like a sphere?
like you know the portals from the game Portal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That, but filled with
And
fire.
Exactly that.
Exactly that,
Exactly
but a
that.
fire.
But it's
But a fire.
it's the orange one.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the
but-
orange one. Exactly, it's the orange portal.
Good thing I have my blue portal gun.
To, what?
Yeah. So these 5 fiery demons leap out of this portal, cackling, just like a like.
What do they look like?
They're about the size of chimpanzees.
Okay.
And they look almost exactly like the mascot of Arizona State University, the Sun Devil.
Okay.
Okay.
Which I actually didn't look up what it looks like, but I assume it's like a long, like devilly horns, like
You would assume that, but it's like a cartoon devil.
good. Well,
Like,
even
it looks
better.
like a dude wearing a devil hat.
Oh, okay. Then they look like dudes wearing devil hats, and it's awful. And in fact, they do almost look like devils with devil masks on.
Oh,
If that makes it, like little like red like traditional devilish bodies
Yeah.
with like that cartoonish devil face like
Oh,
strapped
okay.
on the front of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty awful
Kind
sounding.
of like Lock, Stock, and Barrel from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, exactly that. Those little like creepy kids that have like Halloween masks on a face, but it's like part of their face.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have not seen that movie, and also I hate this visual.
it's good.
You
That's
haven't
good.
seen Nightmare Before Christmas?
It's so good.
Let's take a break
All
and
right.
watch it right now.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry.
Now we're gonna.
Just
now you're
kidding.
gonna watch us watch.
Yeah, we'll just have the sound in it. Great. So,
Can you imagine
Oh.
just 4 of us looking at this when the sound plays for 4 hours? It's a 4-hour film. The director's cut.
yeah. So these things, and the crowd just like suddenly is like, oh, like
There's normals there.
right. There's very much normal. In fact, it's almost all normals in attendance. The only person you know in attendance is certainly supernatural is Apollo himself, and assumedly his daughter, who is a half. A half
halfie.
god.
A hemi
A
god.
hemigod. Yeah.
She got a hemi in there.
Yes, and yourselves, of course. So, this is the start of a conflict.
Okay.
The demons get to go first. There are 5 of them, and the first thing that they are going to do, go to my monster mantles, oops. They are going to,
Monster manual.
no, monster mantles. The first thing this quartet of Sun Devils is going to do on their turn is they are going to basically start leaping uncontrolled around the, I'm assuming a tent this wedding is in? I'm going to say a tent. Start leaping uncontrolled around this tent and start setting the tent itself on fire.
Okay.
Is it like wherever they land catches fire?
Exactly. Like they just start jumping to the walls, and the walls just start catching and start taking. And they succeed. And this area now has the aspect on fire. So that is something you can have access to as well if there's some reason that
I'm gonna light them on fire.
I would love to see that happen.
No 2 people are not on fire.
Maybe soon.
Maybe so.
Great. With that, they will. They get to choose whose turn it is next, and they are going to choose Apollo. And Apollo jumps up and starts just shouting like, "No one shall ever take my fire!" Like starts like proclaiming, I am the sun. Like
Yeah.
he's saying who he is to these things. And he kind of like raises one fist and like flame like spouts out of it and like gestures towards them and like spits this fire out, and they just kind of like
Just
Like they're tickled by it?
they're certainly tickled by it. And in fact, he probably adds to the fire that's kind of starting to take the tent.
Classic Apollo.
And he, seeing that didn't work, turns to you, who he has been in some contact with, and he knows that you are the one organizing this wedding, and he says, fix this. And it is your turn.
Okay, so I think she's completely at a loss because she's never had this big of a disaster, so she's gonna start trying to just, like, get the bride and groom out of there.
Great. So you're going to go up to actually, and let's say this is one zone, this tent. You're in probably the next zone, where it's like the little kitchen area or the little setup area, but you can get there in one turn. Cool. So you're going to try to get the bride and groom out of there. How are you going to do that? That's what we should be trying to do is like try to describe like the way that you're going to try to accomplish that, and then we'll decide what approach that should be best. So how are you gonna? You've got this like angry bride and this like dumbfounded husband or groom, and like what? How are you gonna try to get them out of there?
So I'm going to because they're the only ones who are not essentially on an earpiece. Like as far as I mean, guests aren't also, but like I'm going to use my lovebirds to try to flush them toward one way, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
to
so
say
that's something
follow the birds.
That's something we haven't just talked about. Just that. So you're a emissary of
Aphrodite,
and there's a flock of lovebirds that are just kind of like her presence in the area because she's not physically there.
What if you
Yeah.
were like, they were going to be the doves at the end of the
Yeah.
wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's perfectly
Yeah.
funny. So you're basically just shouting, "Follow the birds."
Yeah,
and just,
follow
like,
the birds.
Sending them to like kind of lead people outside. Interesting. I would
Yeah.
say that is kind of like trying to like get like attention paid to that. So I would say that's almost a flair approach.
Yeah, it seems like a
So go
flare.
ahead and roll flair, and it'll be at a difficulty of 2.
Okay. So that is not so good. Yeah, so that's just
So that's
-2.
Minus 2,
And then
and you add your flair.
flare is
makes
2,
it 0.
so 0.
So you do have the option, if you so choose, you could spend a fate point to add +2 to that roll, or to re-roll it.
And adding +2 would just make it succeed. Right?
Would just make it
Yeah.
would make it tie, which is like barely succeeds. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Cool. So you'll spend a fate point.
spend a fate point.
That just goes to the standard pool because it's not hostile in any way. Great. So you shout out to everyone, like, follow the birds, they'll lead you to safety. And these perfectly trained lovebirds just kind of like flitter out of the cage and start just like circling over people's heads to get their attention and like leading them out and then coming back in to get
Like
people out.
Snow White.
Yep. Exactly that. And was this specifically? This is kind of to everyone, I assume, but you really wanted to get the bride. in
Yeah,
the
like
room.
that's my priority. Like more than one bird go there, and
Yeah.
then maybe one per guest for the other stuff.
Let's say, how about we say this? There's now an aspect on the room called Lovebird Guides, and like if you want to try to get people out, like we'll say that's your free invoke on it, is to get a couple people to notice them, and if you want to use that to help in getting people out, you can invoke that aspect.
Yeah.
Great. Jordan, the groom, he kind of sees this bird flying around his head. And he's like, "Oh no, bird! Gotta get out of here."
I like this guy.
So he like starts to like head out towards the back of the tent, following a bird, and the Sarah, the bride, just kind of like brushes the bird away and is just like staring into the fire of the portal. Like she is not interested. She's trying to like
Staring like mesmerized?
staring like angry, like furious. Not like hypnotized, just like whoa, portal.
And her eyes are spirals.
There are little tiny portals, and there's little tiny demons coming out. And there's a little her in there. Nice. Great. So you get to pick whose turn it is next. Your options are 2 of them, and also just the people in the room.
I think it's Audrey's turn.
Great. That is your turn.
I am going to real quick shift into cat form.
Very good. So your stats change, and this is a mountain lion. Is that
front
correct?
of-
Nope,
No.
it's a bobcat.
It's a bobcat.
I swore I was gonna get it right,
It's
but
not
I got it
armadillo.
backwards.
It's an armadillo.
It's an armadillo.
In front of everyone?
No.
It's pretty chaotic.
Oh, okay.
So like you
Yeah.
could certainly find a spot.
I mean, I had to be somewhat hidden already in order to be in the right photography.
Right, you were already
position.
specifically like trying to stay out of. Yeah.
And it's because I have shifting adept. It doesn't like leave a pile of clothes behind or anything.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's pretty.
Yeah, you could very easily duck into
Yeah.
like a hidden corner.
There's 4 demons and a bobcat in here.
Yeah. So, what are you? And one thing I saw about the condition when I was reading just the rules again this week.
Yeah.
So the condition, you can do it anytime.
Okay.
But after the scene is over, you do have to spend a little time like resting and eating and like
Yeah.
not a ton of time.
Unless you
but
get that stunt, right?
Yeah, but there's like you can't just go straight into another fight.
Yeah.
If once you change back, you have to spend like an hour like cooling off.
Okay.
Unless you stay as a bobcat, right?
Unless you stay as a bobcat
So when I
or mountain.
when I become a bobcat, does that take up my turn, or can I like?
No,
then
you can
do
you can still do something.
Okay.
We'll say like
Yeah.
you're basically like leaping out, like of where if you're attacking, it's basically like you're just like hiding, shifting, and then just leap out as you're shifting. Probably.
Because the reason I wanted to shift into bobcat form is so that I can then try and attack one of these demons.
Great. And how do you want to attack it? Because again, an attack could be any
Yeah.
of these approaches. How do you?
As a bobcat, my best approach is haste. So I'm going to be just launching.
So you just want to like pop out
yeah.
real quick and just before they can react. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Sneak attack.
I go ahead and roll your attack and add haste.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
My haste is at 3, and I rolled a net -1, so 2.
So 2. They rolled a net 1. So you do get 1 shift of damage on them.
Cool.
Which I need to.
Like I've surprised all of them.
Basically, like you popped out and like popped out and just swiped like your claw, your bob claw.
I'm Bob Claw.
I'm Bob Claw for the next, and just like raked one of them across the chest, and it's like it's hot on your paw. It doesn't damage you, but it is like it is definitely it's a hot one, as
Well,
Carlos
sizzly.
Santana and Rob Thomas say.
Together.
Yeah, so you definitely like scar across the chest of one, and it just kind of like goes and like turns its attention towards you, and it is upset.
But laughing about it.
But laughing about it.
Yeah, is it just like frozen mask face essentially?
It's like it's the mouth is like moving, but it's clearly not like the actual.
It's like kung fu movies. It's like
Oh yes, yeah.
It like
yeah.
doesn't sync up.
Yes, or like the movement is like less than a mouth should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Great. That makes it whoever's turn you want it to be.
It's me or the crowd. It's me or the crowd. You choose.
I'm gonna pick you, Sketty.
Okay.
So you can hear that there's like a sudden commotion, and you hear Apollo going like, "Who dares?"
I guess I get up off the counter and kind of peek my head through the little doors.
And you see just like, as you like, so you peek your head through a little door, and as you directly on the other side, there's this little demon face that like, it's like you open the door and it's just right in front of you going.
And I go, "Huh!" So, I believe I'm going to use my magical talent to fling some sand at this thing as an attack. Because I'm scared.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I can tell which ones are mine because they're different colors. And I got a -1
Oh yeah, I should roll for them.
to my. I was using focus, I guess, or maybe haste.
For those, don't you have a specific approach
So for
to
me, I can only use focus for my for my magical talents.
For your sand attack?
For my sand attack, for all of them, actually.
You basically get to choose. For those, you get to choose an approach to do it with.
Oh, okay.
So for those, it gets to be whatever you want, but it has to be that every time. So it could be focus if you wanted to, but it also could be force. It could be anything. It could.
Yeah.
It's those are basically like you choose an approach and an action, and it's a combination of those two things. So
I was thinking it was focus because like he has to focus to like the resonance of sand.
It's literally whatever you want it to be.
Okay, it's focus then.
Great. So what did you roll overall?
I rolled a -1, and my focus is 3, so that makes it 2.
Great. They had a success of 1. So you So you just like are shocked by this demon, and you just like screw your little brain up, and just kind of like what does it look like when you sandblast them?
This basically, I just reach down and like pull sand out of the ground, and just like poof, and like, but it's like a sandblasting.
Yeah.
Whatever. So like.
Is it more like hitting them with the force of it, or is it like scouring them?
It's scouring them.
Ooh. Yeah. So you just like
he can take paint off cars and has.
And will again.
and will again when he needs to paint a new thing on the side of his car.
Or when he sees a cop car.
Yeah, get him. Scouring. Screw you, pigs.
Great. So you do a.
Thank you.
I hope
tried to have good sound quality.
I hope it's not sarcastic.
Oh.
I've been
Well,
worried.
there's no sarcasm emoji.
That's true.
Yep.
Great. So so you do a little bit of damage to this demon who is just like he's like, and he clearly hates it.
Can I close the door?
Sure. I just don't know that it would do much, but yes.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
They're like little swinging, like restaurant style.
Yes.
Like in and out of the kitchen.
Like saloon
doors.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Like the ones that are like fake wood. They have that plastic wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So last person to act is the crowd itself, and they are a couple of them are going to start following these lovebirds out. So the aspect of chaos is just going to be an aspect on this scene of people kind of scrambling, trampling each other, but because there is like some guidance of like where to go, the demons won't get a free tag on it.
Okay.
Great. So the crowd is going to choose Apollo to go first because most of them are his worshippers, so they are going to choose him, calling out, "Save us, Apollo! We love you!"
Yeah.
And I love you too, baby. So he realizes that fire is not going to be the most effective way to do this, and so he just rolls up the sleeves on his like real fancy suit, and he's just like, "All right, let's do this."
Is his suit also maroon?
Oh, absolutely.
Or is it crushed red velvet?
It's like crushed red velvet.
Red crush.
Red crush.
This is it, Red Crush.
So he's gonna roll, and he just like wallops one of these demons, and he just basically knocks it out of existence. Like he punches this thing, and it just goes like,
And this dissipates?
pretty much. Like not in way of like that it evaporates, in a way that it is like exploded into motes.
Okay, yeah.
He's a god.
Yeah.
And he turns to you again and says, "I'm waiting. Fix this."
All right, and she's just kind of like, she's like totally stressed right now because like this is just, so she's just and she's like talking on her earpiece. I think she wants to tell everybody to go through the kitchen to evacuate who's on the earpiece.
So you're basically trying to like funnel the crowd.
Yeah, just funnel my workers at least.
Gotcha.
Like
yeah.
out the back.
Yeah, you're trying to like make an orderly way of...
Yeah, because everything's just chaotic right now, and I'm trying to like make it
Nice. So I would say there's a couple ways you could... Are you trying to like make yourself heard over, like trying to like command? Are you trying to like because it could basically be like force to command them, or like focus to like everyone stay calm, let's do this together.
I think it's that.
Cool.
I think it's, yeah, everybody stay calm.
Great. Or flair to be just like attention. Like you could do it however you want. Basically.
I think it is more of a focus thing than a flair thing at this point because she just doesn't like. She just straight up wants to keep everybody.
Great. So let's say you are creating an advantage for everyone, and go ahead and roll focus. Have to beat a 2 again. Or meet or beat a 2.
That is a 1 plus 1, so that is 2.
Cool. So you meet it. So let's actually change the aspect of chaos on the scene to controlled chaos. So you're kind of trying to get people wrangled a little bit, and you're kind of like starting to get people moving in the right direction and not like trampling. So there's controlled chaos is now one of the aspects on the scene, as well as on fire. And you guys as a group get 1 free invoke on controlled chaos. So anybody can use that on your turn to try to figure out to add a bonus or do whatever, as long as it makes sense that you could use the control over the situation for your advantage. Cool. Whose turn is it? You've got everybody but Apollo, including the demons.
Oh, and I think she's a little mad at Apollo now because she's just trying her best.
That's fine. He doesn't care.
Yeah. I think the crowd's gonna go next.
Cool. Yeah. So they're starting to funnel out, and this is like, like a thing of like they're starting to go. Like everybody's terrified, but like people are starting to like take control of like, yeah, she's right. Everybody get this way. Everybody get this way. All right, come on, let's go. And like people are helping, and people are like smoothing out the process a little bit. So it's starting to kind of empty out a little, but there's still a lot of people in this tent. The crowd is gonna pick. They don't know why or what is happening, but they're like, oh, this cat's fighting him. Go cat! Go cat! Go cat! We love you, cat.
On the inside, I'm really hurting by hearing that because the Wildcats are University of Arizona's mascot, and I have a lot of school spirit and school pride for Arizona State.
Damn it.
So I'm interpreting them as saying "Go Cats," which I understand that they.
Which would be a very funny thing to do in this situation, just cheer for a school.
Yeah. Go Cats!
Great, so what are you going to do on your turn?
Is my turn next?
Your turn is next. The crowd has chosen you to go. They see that something is fighting these things, and they're like, go for it. We're happy.
I'm gonna, assuming I have to pick one demon at a time to attack physically, I'm going to jump at the one that's closest to me and attempt to like bite at its throat.
Cool. And you, you can try to attack multiple things, but basically what you have to do is you roll and you split the roll.
Okay.
So it's hard.
And like, with something like this is mostly like a mob, so it's kind of like one entity essentially.
Okay.
So yeah, you're basically
it's collective throat.
Exactly. If you're attacking one, you're attacking all in this case. Cool. So is this like you're just trying to like overpower it? How are you going about this?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the cat thing and rip out its jugular.
Cool. So let's go for a force roll.
Okay.
Or if you want to like approach it in any other, like, because you can like a little bit game the system to try to like.
Yeah.
We don't want to like game it, but there's a lot of ways you could attack this thing.
Well, and the book just says like, yeah. So what if they always use their
this
thing?
It's like if you want to use haste again to try to like just jump on something and rip it so fast that it can't defend itself well,
I
then
think
like
that's kind of my best tactic.
yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go for that.
Great. You can do that every time. Sometimes it won't make as much sense, but as long as it does, feel free.
Okay.
For attacking as a wildcat, it seems to make
It
a lot
pretty
of
much
sense.
always makes a good amount of sense.
I like to be real pouncy.
Real pouncy.
A real pouncy.
I netted 0 on my roll, so my haste is still at 3.
Cool. So a 3 overall. They rolled a 1. So they are going to
Classic demon.
they're going to check off a box of something that you don't know what it is, and basically
Is it that?
Health?
Is it the aspect
not exactly.
Okay.
missing jugular?
It's technically a condition called dwindling numbers, and that is because you basically just like tear out this thing's throat, and it just starts spewing like
Fire.
little fire globs.
Oh, I was kidding, but
No, but this
But
thing
it
is
seems to be made of fire.
this thing is like made of fire.
go Wildcats to that guy's dad.
Yeah. Cool. So who gets to go next? Leftover people are Phil and the demons.
I was in a band called Phil and the Demons.
And coming up next, it's
And
Phil and the demons with their hit.
And now he's in a band called Leftover People.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Phil's turn.
Okay.
It's gonna be Phil.
It's gonna be Phil. Is there, say, since like caterers are required to have safety stuff, is there a fire extinguisher in the kitchen?
Good call.
Yeah. Normally, I would say maybe pay a fate point to like have that happen, but you're right. It would have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or else it's
I would make sure.
Yeah. I'd say absolutely, especially considering you are like the down to the last detail is one of your aspects. I'd say it makes a whole lot of sense.
Okay, I'm going to.
You know what? That's smart thinking.
No, Phil is not known for it. He was going to look around for a Pyrex to full of chicken to throw at someone. But, so he's going to try to run out with the fire extinguisher and try to put out the fire, probably as fast as possible. So I'm going to say
Do you want haste? I'd say haste, or even just like intellect to like say like I had the idea to do it and like that should work. Like either way, I think is good.
I'd rather have haste.
Yep,
Slightly.
great. Absolutely. Like you're just grabbing this thing as quick as you can,
Yeah,
just like
going,
spray.
I'm just like running around. I have no idea how to use a fire extinguisher.
Can I? Well, you would have to know how to use a fire extinguisher as a glass blower.
You're assuming that I blow glass like other people do. I do it entirely with magic.
That's true.
Yeah, go for it. So it's a haste roll. Yeah, we'll see what they defend with. Ooh.
A +1, which brings me to 3.
And they rolled a 2.
So I overcome that
by 1. So you would do 1 shift of damage unless there's anything you'd like to try to...
I was trying to overcome... No, I wasn't fighting the creatures.
Oh, you're fighting the fire.
I was fighting the fire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fighting fire with fire extinguisher.
Yeah, so you put out the fire aspect of this room.
Yeah.
And let's say that gives you a boost, because that's something you can use against them on your next turn. Because you're basically like... You're in a cloud of this like flame retardant mist essentially, and so you've got a boost against these fire creatures before your next turn.
Great.
The fire creatures are actually going to go now, and they are like hopping mad. They're like hopping around, but they are very upset that the fire has been put out.
They're incandescent with rage.
Literally incandescent with rage. They are going to make an attack against everybody.
Okay.
So
we can defend ourselves?
In response?
So you can defend yourselves in response, and what they are basically doing is they are all leaping to the center of the room and kind of vibrating together, and just starting spitting out like a swirl of fire through the room.
Okay.
So you can choose kind of how you want to defend yourself. Basically choose like, what are you trying to do to like get out of the way of like a spinning gout of fire?
Can I ask a quick question?
No.
Okay.
But yes.
Go on. So one thing I know about real people who blow glass is that you wear these special glasses when you that eliminate sodium flame, which is like yellow, which is what anything that like a normal fire in a room would be. This. Is there any chance that you would have those glasses on you to be able to see through? Like it would basically make it so that you could see through fire. And it's like a standard glass blowing piece of equipment.
Maybe.
So
that's something you would have to like pay a fate point to have if you wanted, because like you wouldn't necessarily have that on you at all times. Unless you would.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Phil
doesn't.
I don't think Phil has a furnace.
Yeah.
I don't think he like blows glass in the traditional sense. He just makes the glass friction itself.
Yeah.
Or the sand friction itself in the glass and then works it with
There's
magic.
something funny about like maybe you have a furnace for your regular customers, but you don't actually know how to use it.
It's just there.
It's for show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people would you know.
Oh, can you show us?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's on all the time.
So that kind of thing, if you did want to have, that's like something you wouldn't necessarily have
Yeah,
on you. You'd
yeah.
probably
Yeah,
pay a
that would be
fate
a
point
fate
to
point.
like
Yeah.
to just say like, hey, I brought this with me because it makes sense because I have this aspect.
I think
Yeah.
he definitely does not. Yeah, he has a furnace. That's a great idea. He has a furnace, but it's
Yeah.
for show and it's
Yeah.
like not plugged in.
Occasionally, like you put like melted glass in there just so it looks like it's been used.
Yeah, exactly.
You just
This
throw
room's
some-
super dusty, Phil. Like,
Great. So they are attacking everyone in the room.
Got it.
They're going to roll. Luckily, you put out the fire, and they had a lot of free invokes on that, and so it's a good thing you put that out.
I'm so smart.
Good job.
Great. So they actually only roll a 1 because of that overall. So it is a 1. You need to get out of the way of a swirling gout of fire that can come in the middle of the room.
I'm gonna duck.
Haste.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably haste is a good one,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah.
whatever. If you got another way to do it, you're welcome to try.
I'm straight up ducking under a table, I think.
Great. Haste.
I'm gonna haste right up a tree.
Everybody haste.
Up a tree.
Right up a tree without a paddle.
haste.
Is there a tree in here?
All right. So
Actually, they're going to spend a fate point
Uh-huh.
to bump it up to a 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
okay, so I hasted the shit out of this.
Oh, no. What was that?
That was a -3. That was a.
This was a nothing.
Yeah.
What was your?
So I have a total of 5.
So you have a total of 5. So you beat it, and you are succeed.
You are succeeding.
You are succeed.
I haste 2.
So you take 1 stress of damage. You check off one of those 6 stress boxes.
Did you just like scribble it out, or did they
Just do
come-
it, because those will
Just
come
a-
back.
okay.
Stress boxes come back after every scene.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how this works. Just
So,
different than.
your boy, the candy man,
Oh, no. Yeah, boy.
he rolled -3 and his haste is 2. So he has a -1.
Cool. So you
So
could either take 4
what
shifts
is,
of
what
damage.
does the boost allow me to do?
+2 on any roll before the end of your next turn. So you could straight up just say, like, because you put that out, like, you're a little bit flame retardant right
Yeah.
now, because you're covered in this stuff.
Yeah.
That would absolutely be viable.
I'll do that.
You would
Cool.
probably wear-
Boost specifically does not allow you to reroll. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Between
That's the difference between a boost and a invoking an aspect, is you just straight up +2.
them. Okay.
You could also choose to tap aspects or invoke aspects, or if there's
What if-
anything applicable.
What if all your clothing was flame retardant to protect you from the heat of like blowing sand around?
You absolutely could say, like, well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
could-
glass
I
blower.
could tap my aspect master glass blower.
Absolutely, if you wanted to, or you could take 2 shifts, 2 stress of damage. That's another option as well.
I think I'm just gonna take the 2 stress.
Great. Yeah, save some fate points. Ride,
Ride the wave.
Red crush.
ride a cowboy, save a fate point.
So I just check
You
off
take
the
the
different 2. So I check off the 2.
2 of them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
not
a
like the
line like
other-
it used to be. It's just you have 6.
You have
Yeah.
6, and if it takes.
Yeah.
So if I took 2 again, it would just check off the next 2.
Yeah, or any other 2.
Yeah.
And then
they're not.
So I could check off hers?
yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you guys have the conditions in peril and doomed,
Mhm.
and those have a 4 and a 6.
Does reduce it by 4.
You can like choose to check off in peril, and then you'll reduce 4 stress up to 4 stress.
Where's peril?
But you'll get like in this condition, you might have gotten like badly 2nd degree burned,
Yeah.
and that would be an aspect you have for a bit. Anyway, great. So the Sun Devils were the last one in the initiative, and they are going to choose to go first. The giant snake that comes out of the portal.
No.
Normal snake?
Giant snake,
Former fire snake?
not fire snake.
Just normal fun snake.
Just
Too-
a normal giant snake.
Mundane or supernatural?
Too big to be mundane.
Too small to be supernatural.
Too small to be supernatural. Fits in a bread box, not a blender.
What is the taxonomy of this animal?
Snack.
Hard to say.
Crotalus
No.
gigantus.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it. That's
it-
not your aspect. That's
Is
real
it a
life.
cat so I can talk to it?
No.
Okay.
It's a cattle snake.
Cat.
It
It's
eats
a
cats.
It's a cat, a cow, and a rattlesnake.
I like it.
Good.
Bring it on in.
And what this snake is going to do is it's going to slither out of the portal, take a look around, look around and see one man who is off to the side, who has went to the back of the tent instead of the front of the tent when he was running away. The dumb groom, Jordan Carlyle, who went off on his own like an idiot. And the snake slithers over before anybody even notices really fully that it's emerged from the portal in the chaos, and latches its giant fangs directly into the torso of Jordan Carlyle.
Oh. Is this snake venomous?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a big one.
Can I spend a fate point to say that it has normal eyes instead of cat eyes, so that it's less likely to be venomous?
Well, it doesn't have cat eyes, but it's
a cowdoll snake.
Either way, these fangs are big enough that like this gonna hurt.
Doesn't matter.
They big.
It's in his lung or something.
Yes, and he just like he's been like following this little bird, but kind of like half following it wrong.
Yeah, the bird keeps trying to like turn around.
Yeah, and it just like hits him in the side from the back, and he just goes like, "Oh no!"
Except his voice fades because it punctures his lung.
And that's turn. It's going to choose the devils to go, and they are going to continue their gout of flame.
The devils you go.
The devils you go are better than the devils you don't go. They're going to choose their gout of flame again, same exact. And they have rolled this time an actual 3 without having to spend anything. So it is a same defense you can choose. Same thing.
Okay.
3 is the number of shifts of attack that they've done. Godspeed.
Thank you. We need all the Godspeed we can get.
We need all the gods we can get. Apollo?
So that's 3 for me.
So a tie. 2.
I'm smelling a lot like burnt hair right now.
3.
So both of you are fine.
Fine.
You take 1 shift of stress, and because they tied with both of you, they actually gain 2 boosts that they can use.
Oh.
So that's a thing. When you tie an attack, you don't deal damage, but you get a boost
for next
for next turn. That's their turn. They are going to choose. They want you to go.
The burning cat.
They want the burning cat to go. They're kind of like.
How do you like me now?
I'm imagining them a lot like what's in the third Harry Potter movie? There's those little blue like pixies. Are they just pixies?
Probably just pixies.
There's some,
Yeah,
they're
just
like
pixies.
I'm imagining these fire devils as like chimpanzee-sized versions of those.
Yeah.
in red.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are-
I forgot that they're the size of a chimp.
Yeah. Oh,
Terrifying.
Yeah, they and like kind of the build of one, like they're muscular little awfuls.
Yeah. Does the fact that I've taken 2 stress affect anything on my turn?
Nothing. Basically, all it is that like stress is just you're not like injured. You're just like running out of like resources. Like you're getting tired. You're getting worn down.
Okay.
You might be like a little singed, but like unless you get a condition, which is like having to mark that in peril or whatever. There's no lasting harm.
Okay. Then I am gonna. Are the devils all still in the circle?
They're in the center, of the room, in a little tight circle, kind of spinning around, shooting flames out, like a little devil sprinkler, but with fire.
I'm going to attempt to run.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Fernie 6666. I wonder if you're the Fernie I know. Anyway, hope you're not. Because I'd be embarrassed, because I hate embarrassing myself. This isn't embarrassing. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, it was more embarrassing to speak in a baby voice about being embarrassed than anything.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I'm going to. This is going to be a haste thing, but I'm just going to describe what I'm attempting to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and run, like, cut through this, like, center cluster of demons, and grab one by the ankle on my way through.
Cool. So do you want that to be an attack, or are you trying to like put an aspect on them or on the scene or anything, or?
I want it to be an attack.
Cool. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Haste. Absolutely.
So now that if they don't have blood and they just have fire globs, I don't necessarily need to. But they're jugular, I can just rip their leg off.
Yeah. Woo.
Okay. Oh. All right. I have a haste of 2.
Cool. They have 2 as well, equal. So you get a boost, but you don't
Unless
do
you want
anything.
to bump it.
Unless you want to bump it somehow with a fate point, which you could.
Unless you want to put a bump it on your head.
I'm gonna bump it.
Cool. So
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
use my bump it.
great, and
What
that
aspect?
actually goes directly to them, or to me rather.
Are you them?
I'm them.
No.
Are these they?
These are they.
Cool. So you deal 2 damage to them, and you just like, I'd imagine the visual of this is you were like hiding under a table, and you just like streak out, grab one by the leg, and drag it under a table,
Yeah.
and you just hear this like, and like tearing, but nobody can see what's happening.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm so fast.
Velociraptor in a cornfield.
Yeah.
Like you just like dart out, grab one.
Like
and it's-
that famous thing from Jurassic Park where that velociraptor was in a
cornfield.
cornfield.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Like
It's
that
like
famous-
Jurassic Park 2.
That famous movie.
Was it
Velociraptor-
cornfield?
Velociraptors
Yeah.
of the corn.
Or like a
Yeah.
wheat field or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of tall.
Some kind of tall
Grass.
field.
Oh, I forgot. The Jurassic Park island was working on being fully self-sustained.
I think it is corn because the dinosaurs have a lysine dependency.
Wasn't it potatoes?
I don't know. This doesn't matter.
Okay.
Corn?
I don't know.
I know there's
Next week we'll
lycopene
talk
in
about
tomatoes.
nutrition.
Maybe it's lycopene. I don't know. Maybe it's
Potatoes
lysine.
don't grow tall though.
That's true. Not yet. Whose turn is it? The only people to go have been the giant snake and the devils. So you have Apollo, the crowd, and everybody else.
I like that band too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toss back to my boy Apollo.
Like, yes, good. So he is like, he just like jabbed one of these things to death with his fist, and
Nice.
he's just like, and let's give the other one a workout. He's going with his left. Oops. No.
Do you need a...
Nope.
That doesn't count, Richie.
I know. Well, it doesn't
No
matter.
Jumanji rules.
He still rolled a lot of goods. Oh, and I dropped another almost.
We gotta put a
He's
bib
got
on
the
you.
goods.
It doesn't matter. This thing is smashed. He destroys another one and just like shouts out like, the left still got it too.
Apollo, god of ambidextrousness.
He's gonna look at you and say, fix this.
So I'm kind of like peeking out from under a table at this point.
And remember, you guys have a free invoke on the controlled chaos aspect of the room.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So I think that, can I see the snake from where I am?
Yeah, I think when like the thing struck, like it was pretty like clear that all of a sudden that this thing had like come out, and so yeah, you can see it from where you are.
Yeah, so I think I want to try to have my birds attack it.
Cool. So
Like,
I think that would be.
It might be more distraction than anything,
I
but
think
like,
if you want that level of control over the birds to like do attacks and stuff, we would have to make that a stunt, which I think we can. It would kind of mimic the like channeling.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So
I was like, I wanted to suggest that last week.
yeah. So if you would like that, we can absolutely do that. Let's figure out what that is though, and make that a stunt that you have.
yeah, because I don't really see it as doing damage necessarily.
Well, you could.
I just see it as like more of a distractionary tactic. if
so
that makes
how
sense.
how the focus practitioner works is you choose what type of approach it uses and what type of action. So it could be creating an advantage,
Yeah, you
or
could
overcoming.
You could
or
basically
attacking.
like. It sounds like
Or
what
defense.
you want would be create an advantage, where you send the birds to like flock around and confuse it or
Yeah.
like overwhelm it, and then basically like anybody else or you can use that free invoke or maybe more free invokes to get bonuses to your attacks. So if you like that, we absolutely can make that a thing you have. That just would be a stunt, and not
Yeah,
not
the
necessarily something you could just do without having a stunt for it.
Right.
But it should be a stunt if that's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, because that's not quite the same as what I already have, which is marking 2 boxes for birds to find something.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And it's the same thing of that. If I want you to be able to do what you want with them, but to do like powerful things with them,
Yeah.
we want you to have to like have that be part of your class instead of just like
Yeah.
in the same way that like Sarah couldn't say like, oh, I turned into like a giant cat unless we took a
Yeah,
stunt that's
yeah.
like upgraded, that type of thing.
Well, maybe that's something I think about, but maybe I do something else for now.
Sure,
'cause
and
I
you do
wanna
also
kind
have
of-
that that charm attack, which is kind of like already an attack.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of a social attack, but there's no differentiation between social and physical attacks.
Yeah.
So like that is something you can use as well if you want like a combat thing.
Actually, maybe I kind of want to use charm to try to help people leave.
Oh, that's great.
Interesting. Yeah, because basically what you can do is if anybody is like staying around, you can use that as an attack, and if you take them out, it's basically like you get to dictate what happens, and if what that is they get out, then great.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I want to do. Like,
Great. Yeah, I'd say there's a couple people who are like definitely like here trying to like get involved and putting themselves in danger. So like if you want to do that, absolutely great.
yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to try to charm the people the mortals who are left.
Great. Go ahead and make a attack against +0 because they wouldn't be necessarily resisting it in any way.
So that is 2 plus guile, I assume.
If that's what we listed for that.
Yes, we did.
Cool.
So that's going to be 5.
Great. So you actually succeed with style, which I think in this case for an attack is basically that you can do one less attack to get a boost, or do one less stress to get a boost that you can use before your next turn. It's basically like a crit-esque, but you sacrifice like 1 point of damage for it. So if you'd like to do that, 3 would be plenty to take them out.
Yeah.
So let's say like it's just these like kind of the last people who are still kind of in the room.
Stragglers, yeah.
Except for Jason? What's his name?
Jordan.
Well,
he's
so close.
And Sarah, who is still like fixated on the portal, we'll get to her turn. We'll say she has a turn sometime this time because she hasn't. So you get the last people out, and this is like people are out of danger. You have protected the people from danger. They are safe for the most part, except the people involved in the combat.
Yeah.
You fixed it in one sense.
Yeah.
Maybe not one.
Exactly. Great. Whose turn is it next? Sarah's gone, Apollo's gone, the devils have gone, and the snake is gone.
Yeah, I think it's Phil's turn.
Just me. Just little old Phil.
Little old me.
I'm going to stand up and then grab... So for this wedding, I made beautiful flower arrangements. I basically made like glass roses.
Great.
That are colored red and gold and whatever. So I'm just going to reach into the center arrangement and pick up these glass roses and then magically fling them at the demons.
And that's one of your stunts you did, right?
I'm just color. My attack is either glass or sand. So
But this is magical.
Oh, this is magical.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I'm not like javelining it. I'm just like
Great. That's very nice.
Magellin.
Tuxedo Mask style. For all you Sailor Moonies out there. That would bring it up to a 4, I believe.
They rolled a 0.
Nice.
Sweet.
They are going to use one of their boosts that they had to reduce it by 2.
Got it.
Bum, bum. Great. Yeah, this like you blast like one of them. The one in front of the door is like, or that was in front of the door.
Yeah.
He's like shards through, like they're stuck. In
Yeah,
it.
it's just he has flowers sticking out. He has a bouquet of flowers sticking out of his
He's
chest.
still going. He looks like. Whoop.
You've turned him into a block of florist's foam.
I have.
Great. So they are like there's like 2 left essentially, and the only 2 people left in the turns are Sarah and Jordan, and I'm going to have them do 1 full turn here. And the snake bites into Jordan, and he's just like, oh no, and falls, and it's like, he starts like spasming, and it is quickly like, this is a poison, and it is a fast-acting.
It's a venom.
It's a
not
venom,
poison.
correct. Yes. He eats a piece of the snake, and it's a poison.
It's a poison.
And it's very clear, like, his eyes, like, glaze over instantly. Like, this thing is, like, it killed the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Super quick. Scarily quick, in fact. And...
Don't let that bite you.
Quite literally...
I should have been a possum.
Oh, if only.
Wait, are they immune to venom?
Yep.
You should have been a basset hound. Their skin is so floppy that things can't.
Oh, that's good too. And you have a good sense of smell.
Big ears.
Yeah, so literally, as he dies, you're not sure why, but you see his little soul come out of his body.
All of us do?
Like a cartoonishly,
Oh.
floats up out of his body and just looks around like, oh no! And slowly starts getting sucked into the portal. And Sarah, who has been standing next to the portal, kind of tries to grab at him as he's getting sucked in there, but it's a ghost soul. And
everyone knows Apollo's not the psychopomp. He
No.
doesn't guide. That's Hermes. So.
correct. And it
Everyone knows.
literally symbolically slips through her fingers.
Now she can write a song about it.
Yeah. And she reaches a hand out towards the portal and it burns her. Not
Yeah.
she's not but it touches
He
it.
goes, "Oh no, my body mass index."
My body. No, my wonderful body. My body was a wonderland.
I wish this portal was blocked by a wonder wall.
So she reaches her hand out towards the portal and pulls it back because it's way too hot. And she turns and she's intensely looking at, and she turns to Apollo and she shouts out, "Father, protect me!" And starts holds out her arms and starts to fall backwards into the portal. And
Does it look like she's being sucked in?
no,
Or-
it looks like she is turning and going "I'm going in," type of thing. And Apollo looks confused. We're going back to the top of the order, and we'll say it's both of their turns.
Yeah.
And as she's turning to do that, she says to him "Don't you see?" She doesn't say she's well spoken, and she doesn't say or a lot.
Dad,
She turns to him and she's "Don't you see this? Orpheus and Eurydice, your other children, so long ago in the stories, they took his wife away, and she had to go into hell to bring it back. It was a test. They're testing me, Father, and I will be worthy. And I am the Orpheus of today's age. I am the modern Orpheus. Protect me." And starts to just fall backwards. And he's kind of bewildered by this sudden intense onslaught. And he again just kind of shapes fire around his hand and gestures it out towards her, and it just wraps around her and kind of sinks into her dress. And kind of forming a protective layer of it. And she falls backwards into the portal and kind of sizzles into it. Doesn't look like she's in pain, but kind of just slowly sizzles,
She
disappearing
disappears into the
portal. And it closes not yet.
Oh.
Maybe not at all.
So I guess I'll jump in.
Maybe. Great. So she's going to make it. Apollo is going to make it. Whose turn would he make it? He's going to make it Phil's turn. Because he's good work, good work. He's appreciative of that you got his people out. You get a break.
I look around and the glass stuff was in a vase, and I just grabbed that next.
You're grabbing centerpieces.
I'm grabbing centerpieces and chucking them.
Great. All your hard work.
I'll just remake it. Uh-oh.
no.
4 -4. They got minus a lot too.
It's up to you. So they got a -3 overall.
And I got -4.
Oh, sorry, -2 overall.
And I got -4 to my focus of 3.
So you got a -1, and they got a -2. So you do 1 stress of damage.
You do.
That's actually, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Great, go for it. That's what you re-roll.
Yeah, you re-roll -4s.
And I technically don't get these till the end of the scene, but
so
they're
if
for
they-
the next
if
scene.
If they are eliminated.
Yeah.
If
When
they're-
they're eliminated.
When they're eliminated. When I don't like them.
Yeah.
When they get taken off the bus. Oh, it goes to -2.
Much better. So what is that altogether?
That makes it +1 for me.
Uh-huh.
and they got -2.
Yes.
So it's a difference of 3.
Great, and that is
3
enough
stress.
to, like, the last 2. Basically, like, you send the shards out at that same.
Well, I just throw the thing at him, and it just hits the ground and blows up.
Great, it's like a little glass grenade.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, you destroy the last 2 of them, and there's like the last one as it's dying. The very last one was the one who you bouqueted.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it, as it dies, and these things just like
Yeah.
out of existence. And that makes it whoever's turn you choose. Sarah hasn't gone, Brynna hasn't gone, and the snake hasn't gone.
I'm gonna make it Audrey's turn.
That's me.
I'm the one.
I'm that one.
Because there's still a horrifying snake.
Yeah.
And no offense, I don't think you have physical attacks.
Not
you could
particularly.
charm the snake out of
Yeah.
It
Oh,
does.
snake
It's-
charmer.
There effectively, there's no difference.
Interesting.
It's just a matter of how it ends. Because there's stress is just stress, and it's just like what conditions you put on them, or like
So we could end up having coffee talk with the snake.
yeah. There's and this could and this could come into play too. Like there is social combat, which is no different than regular
Oh, yeah.
combat. It's just the stakes are different.
Yeah.
I just can't use my magics. And she can use her
My
magics.
Right. Yeah. But you could use your approaches just the same.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, all of the sun devils, demons,
Are
are
dead.
gone.
Yes.
But the portal is still open.
Portal
And
is
there's
still
a
open.
Big ass snake still, right?
Big ass snake.
And a big old snake.
Big ass snake.
And this snake is like this thick
So,
and like this thick, like the thickness of a tree trunk.
okay.
Not a redwood, but a good tree trunk.
Yeah.
And the like length of a school bus.
I know about those.
Yeah. And it kind of coils and does itself, but it's
lived
a
in one for a while.
big snake.
It's-
Oh yeah, your character,
it's
not
a-
you in real life.
I've never been on a school bus before.
It's a big snake.
Yeah.
I have. I went to public school, guys. Full disclosure.
Full-
Okay. So. Ooh, I'm scared to get bit by this snake.
Well, you could like attacking is certainly an option, but also like if you want to just like try to create an advantage in case it attacks, you can defend yourself better. Like if you want to do whatever, like you can do pretty much anything as long as it's not a stunt. You know.
Yeah.
Do a ritual.
Yeah.
I can just.
Turn it into a bobcat.
And I could talk to it. Be like, hey man, what's going on? Okay. I'm going to attempt to, like, I guess start distracting this snake, like, sort of by kiting it. Like, I'm gonna...
Kiting it.
I'm good.
She's harrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just trying to kind of like leap
Yeah.
around and
Yeah.
like yeah, great. So go ahead and let's do an opposed create an advantage roll.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's haste, probably.
Yeah, or, I mean, maybe it would be flare, but that's...
Could absolutely be flare. Could be.
Flare.
It's not...
He only has one approach.
Yeah.
Um...
And it's
Dial.
focus. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be haste, I guess, if that makes sense. I'll keep it at
I think
haste.
that makes you're trying to move quickly enough that it can't get to you, but like you're still getting its attention. Haste or flare, I
Yeah.
think either one works.
You're
for that.
basically
Yeah.
doing the mongoose move.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's just
what
like
cats when they sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, an opposed roll.
Do I roll?
You roll as well,
Okay.
yeah. But they're rolling just to give. It's not a set difficulty.
0, so I'm still at 3.
Great. He is at 5.
Whoa!
And you can tell that it's clearly like this thing, like you're kind of like trying to do it, and it's just like you're darting around, and it's just like exactly following you with its head. Like it is not in any way distracted. It is, if anything, just like I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I could strike. I could strike. It's
no.
exactly following how fast your movements are. Whose turn is it? Brynna's character, Heather, or the snake?
Oh, Heather.
All right.
Not
so.
Snack.
Would it be? Would it be? Well, maybe not. Kind of thinking. I'm looking at this portal now and looking for something to put it out. Essentially, just as far as like. So I'm kind of
my
thinking.
Fire extinguisher.
A portal
next to
extinguisher.
me, so,
Yeah, so I almost think, would that be just like spending a fate point to be like, I had like a punch bowl or something nearby? Or like, not a
something that
punch
simple,
bowl,
I
or
don't
like,
think it
just
would be
like yeah, just like, like a standard, because there's,
You want like a big container of liquid.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's
there's
big
a punch bowl.
Yeah, in the same way that there's centerpieces, there's big containers of liquid. A punch bowl or something.
Yeah. So I'm going to take like a big old, either punch bowl or like one of those, like water.
Yeah.
So this would be
little
like an
things.
overcome
Spaghetti.
roll, probably. I'm gonna say though, you try to do it and the water just like sizzles off of it. Like there's,
Yeah.
There is no. That's a perfectly reasonable
Yeah.
action that doesn't.
I still think it's something I try.
Yeah,
so
of course,
that's
of course.
just the,
Yeah, not to say you don't do it, just to say like you do it and it unfortunately doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
Or
You need-
like
you need
it
supernatural
just,
water.
It's not fire. It
need
just is
Dasani.
a hot thing, but
Yeah.
maybe it's not.
Hot heat.
Yeah, exactly. The portal
Yeah.
looks at you and says like, "Ha nice try."
Wah, wah.
That's not true. Not canon.
Not canon.
Cannon.
So the last one to act is the snake, and it looks directly at you and opens its mouth, and it's like fangs bared, and starts like wiggling, and then just kind of like slowly, never like breaking eye contact, moves backwards and starts moving backwards through the portal. And as it
Oh, so it was still in the portal this whole time?
was close to it, but
Oh,
it
okay.
just
It was,
like
its
It
tail was
wasn't
in
just
the
like
portal.
we saw the end of the snake out of the portal.
no, though that would have been decent. And it slowly like slinks back through the portal and just kind of it seals behind it and just kind of like sizzles out of existence. You win.
Yeah.
Whoa. I look outside to see if everyone's fully leaving.
Sorry.
The people out there.
Yeah. Were they like running to their cars or whatever?
Some people are. The people. There's a bunch of
gonna
people.
be a lot of leftovers, is what I'm saying.
There's gonna be a lot of leftovers.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
outside
many.
the people, there are people with like red, like stoles on sashes, I guess, and those are like clearly people in the cult of Apollo in like ceremonial dress.
Yeah.
They're all still there. Everybody else is like way gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So that's over. What happens now? What's your immediate, just like what happens?
So I'm obsessively trying to clean off a table. Because that's just like, I don't have anything, and that's just like, I gotta clean this up.
Yeah.
Like,
What the hell?
I'm gonna turn back to a human.
Great. That might be the first time you guys have seen her turn back from a cat to a human.
Also, what the hell?
Secrets out.
Hey guys, I'm a cat.
Okay. Chill. Real chill.
And as you guys are kind of like recovering from that, Apollo is like staring at where the portal was, just kind of hands kind of clasped behind his back, his sleeves still rolled up. He's got like dust on his fists. And he kind of turns around and he's just kind of says, I am not pleased with the results of this affair.
Can you, like, heal that guy?
Oh, him, he's dead. He's dead and gone. That's what it is. He was a doof anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, did you know him?
Oh, no.
Oh, good. Well, he's gone. He's dead. We'll see if my fool of a daughter can bring... I am not pleased with how this affair has ended.
Sir, do you mind if I take a full statement? And I'm gonna pull out a little...
A statement? I'll
legal
give you a
pad.
statement. I'm not pleased with how this affair has ended.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't write this right now. Please just wait.
The truth
Please.
has to come out.
The truth is that I am not pleased with how this affair has ended.
Says the one who's been lying about being a cat this whole time. Live omission.
The portal says, got her.
It's a lie by omission.
What? Okay.
I am going to get to the bottom of who has perverted the fires of the sun against me.
Please forgive me. I will help. I will help you in whatever capacity you want.
I should say so. All will help. All will help the god of the sun. Me, Apollo.
And who do you suspect is behind this tragedy?
Oh, I have my suspicions.
And what are those?
Leave me for now. I'm not going to dignify you with a response in this place where anyone could be listening. Give me a few hours. I have to talk to my people. Make them not scared. Blah. Meet me at my offices in a few hours, and we will discuss the terms of how you will rectify this situation. Understood?
Understood.
So you would say that your primary concern at this moment is quelling the fears of followers of Apollo?
I would say my primary concern is I am not pleased with how this affair has ended.
All right.
Oh god, they burned the Rangoon. Oh, the crab Rangoon.
Not the crab Rangoon! I was going to take some of that.
We can get you guys some more crab rangoon. It's okay. I can call the caterer. It's okay.
4 hours. Meet me in my offices. You know where they are, I assume? You do.
Yes.
She does.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Sorry. And we will discuss this further. Until then, speak to no one of this. Understood?
Understood.
And leave some of that Rangoon for me.
It's burned.
That's how I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not eating the
that would be
Rangoon.
how you like
I'm eating the pate. It is unburnt.
And he kind of like stalks off and like goes into the crowd and just kind of like walks through this like crowd of scared people and just kind of gives like a come on this way gesture, and they just immediately like follow him and like.
Does he have a big white school bus they're all in?
No, he has a bunch of like long black cars, not limousines, but long cars.
Long car. I'm gonna take as many snaps as I can with my DSLR. That's
Right.
a camera term I know.
Sounds like a camera term to me.
Sounds real.
Cool. So that is the end of the first scene. Apollo has demanded that you meet him in a few hours at his offices, and he's going to get to the bottom of this, and that's that. So the question is there anything you would like to do here? Is there anything you want to do in that time? How do you want to spend the next few hours? If you even want to go to meet him. You don't have to. He told you to, but you don't by any means have to.
But we would all know that it's a pretty bad idea
Yes.
to vex
You would certainly know that
a
if
god.
the god of the sun commands you to do something,
You
you don't
should.
have to. But
Well, you
it's,
should.
have
it's
to.
not going to end very great if you don't.
I just saw him fling fire and punch things out of existence
Yeah.
that took a lot of time for me to kill.
He
So
is easily not pleased, that man.
And like, you got the feeling that like when he tried to burn those things and they didn't burn, like that really like shook him. Like he was not pleased with. Well, I mean, he's been saying he's not pleased, but like that was like not something he was
Surprising.
accustomed to. Yeah,
Yeah,
surprising. Cool. So yeah. So do you guys? Is there anything you guys want to do here? Is there anything you want to do elsewhere? Like, what's the plot?
I think I have to. Do I have to rest or do something to?
You have to spend a little time just kind of like recuperating a little to get your ability to shapeshift back, but that's like, go have dinner, go eat some food, and sit down for a bit.
I'm gonna eat that crab rangoon.
no, it's burned. Eat the pate. Eat all of the chicken a la niçoise. It's great. Niçoise salad.
But that, an hour or so of just like cooling off is fine, and you've got a couple hours to do even just like light, as long as you're not like
Light
doing
snacking.
something stressful.
And so we lose our stress as well.
Yeah, your stress gets refreshed.
Okay.
Yeah, and nobody took any conditions, so you're all set.
And I'm just in full damage control, like calling everybody up and personally apologizing and
Good.
like
Yeah, great. You've already talked to the bride's family, and the groom's family is understandably upset.
Yeah, assuming the police are on their way.
The police are certainly on their way. Yeah, police have certainly been called. Probably arrive within 10, 15 minutes. Start setting up a cordon.
I've agreed to help them make funeral arrangements
Great.
for free. Like that's just
That's great.
Yeah.
They're very
It's
appreciative.
just like a wedding except black.
Yeah, and they had a like, they knew this was like a semi weirdo thing he was getting into. Like they knew it was.
His dad is named Apollo and has a cult. So.
Yeah, so like they're kind of like, this is just sad. They're kind of like Midwestern parents who were like, we always kind of thought this would be how it ended.
When he went to the West. with
When he
their
went to the
weird cult.
West to be a
Out
musician,
west.
we knew he'd get eaten by a giant snake.
Oh
Um,
no.
And
I'm
I'm trying to walk out with some. Oh my god! I keep naming wildly disparate with a tray of tamales,
uh-huh.
and the police take it as evidence. I'm super bummed about it.
I'm gonna team up with the police when they get here and give them all my notes.
Yeah,
'Cause
great.
I
So
know
the-
they clearly want to hear
so
what
the-
I have to say about this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The police get there. They start a cordon. The lead, your contact is Detective Marvin Coates,
Nice.
a name I just made up.
Marvin Coates.
When they try to talk to me, I ask them if I'm being detained or if I'm free to go.
Now you've got
Are these-
60 witnesses
Are
that
these
say
are these tamales free to go? Or are they being detained?
we're not going to keep tamales as evidence.
Awesome.
Are you sure, sirs?
I'm sure I'm a one guy, first of all. And, like, you don't gotta call me sir, you can call me Detective Marvin Coates.
Sorry, detective.
Or just Detective Marvin. Or just Detective Coates. Or just Detective or Sir.
I
I
think
definitely didn't want to. I storm off, like, detaining me and go to my.
We're not detaining you.
And I would like, but I'm saying this under my breath as I go into my topless Jeep that
gotcha.
I own.
Gotcha.
and I'm just giving them
Eating these
completely
tamales.
irrelevant details to like how the wedding
No,
was
we don't need to
prepared.
know, like, where the banners were.
It was a chiffon, and then
Doesn't
I
matter
I
what
had
material it
tucked with-
was.
and it was perfect.
No, it doesn't
It
matter.
was perfect. There were there was
Just
a
tell
fondant
me about
that I
the
was
big
planning
snake
on doing,
that
and
came out and ate a guy. And, like, the medical examiners are like, or like the ambulance, not the medical
Yeah.
examiner, but the ambulance is like loading the body in, and they're like, "What is this?"
Is this cop kind of in the know?
That's a question that you should answer. Not you specifically, but like this cop that shows up. Like, do you think this would be a guy who knows what's up supernaturally, or do you think he'd be like somebody who has no idea?
Sheriff Joe.
It's not Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
If
It's
it's
Detective
no!
Martin Coates. Marvin Coates.
um,
Sorry about the coughing.
I mean, he seems more savvy than the other people.
Yeah, let's say
Maybe
he's.
I know him from the Paranet.
Oh
Maybe he's like a
yeah.
hyper minor.
Paranet cop. I like that. Yeah, let's absolutely say that. Detective Marvin Coates, Paranet cop.
he's a
Maybe he can
paralegal.
like, maybe he can like sense like the history of objects and things when he like gets like
He's like
psychic
a
valences.
Yeah, like he's like an evidence. He's like sensitive to evidence.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
can like touch things and like feel the emotions that
Yeah,
happen.
what
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that?
yeah.
What is that called? It's called something
I
specific.
forget
I
what
don't
that-
remember.
There is a word for
there's
that.
a word for it. It's like
Cold
it's
reading.
something kinetic. Something
Yeah,
kinetic,
or yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
evidence-omancer.
yeah, let's say that he's got like a little like a minor talent of like he kind of gets a sense of like emotional readings off of objects.
Yeah.
Cool. Writing him down. Great. So that's Detective Marvin Coates. Yeah, and he takes statements. He's very like, this guy is like, and I like the idea that he's like endlessly patient in a way of just like, all right, no, all right, don't need to know that. Thank you, but thank you for that, but we don't need that. And like he's willing to give as long a statement as you're willing to take, and like he's He just wants to get a full sense of all of this. Yeah, is there anything specific you guys want to have interact? I know you don't.
I'm eating tamales.
Well-
Rage eating tamales in my car.
Is there anything
Sunburned.
you guys want to do with the cops or the medical examiners? If not, we can just kind of move forward however you guys want.
I am gonna pester the medical examiners, or the
ambulance,
the
yeah.
paramedics, to see if they know anything about like this snake, and based on its bite and the effects it had on the body, if they have any like guesses as to what.
Well, we know a rattlesnake is, and this seems like poison, but we don't know which kind of poison it is. Could be a rattlesnake poison or a coral snake poison. Could be a lot of different snake poisons. Sidewinder poison.
Well, I've only taken one wildlife biology class.
Oh, yeah?
But isn't it considered a venom?
Who's the ambulance driver here?
I suppose in this case it's you.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it possible for rattlesnakes or coral snakes or sidewinders in this area to grow to that size?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a snake. I've seen a big snake. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of. Oh man, I've seen a lot of stuff in my time.
You ever seen anything like this?
I've seen people die of snake bite.
A snake bite with the teeth spaced this far apart?
Yeah, it could have been like two different snakes, or like one of these is a snake bite and the other was a knife. Lots of stuff. You don't even know what you
Could have
see.
been a snake with a knife tied
Could have
on
been a
its
snake
side.
knife with a tail that's a knife. You don't even. Some of this stuff. We got crazy animals out here in Arizona.
Thank you. Those are all my questions.
You got it. Put that in the paper. You want a picture of me?
Nope.
He does the Heisman.
I'm out of film.
Awesome.
And I just hand out spare goodie bags to each of the police
Some
officers.
Marcona
I'm like,
almonds.
yep.
That say Sarah Hart Jordan and then the date on it.
Oh.
They also include my business card in them, just to.
Great.
Eliminate.
Cool, great. So unless there's anything else you want to do here, we can move to the next scene. If you want to take a quick break, we can also. I should probably grab
Yeah,
some water.
let's take a quick break.
I'm
then
gonna
we'll
take
see
that
what we
EMT on a date.
Oh, it's
Oh.
possible.
I'm gonna take him on a quick date in the back of my.
On an eliminate.
Yeah.
Cool, we're back from outer space.
Wow.
And then we have the one and something space. That is all the ones.
Fire engine.
Cool. So you've kind of dealt with the cops. You've dealt with the ambulance riders
Ambulance riders.
in the sky.
That classic Beatles song.
A classic Beatles song.
Beatles ride.
Yeah.
Mix up.
Cool. So you've got a couple hours until you're supposed to meet with Apollo. By no means do you have to. If you want to do anything in those hours, great, you're more than welcome to. If not, we can go straight to that. It's up to you guys, whatever you think you might do, want to do, need to do. Could be anything. Could be just like we say, oh, here's what we do in there, and there's nothing to figure out. But if there is, then we can do that now.
Could I have the rulebook for a second? I want to see.
That's for me,
I
though.
want to see what the Paranet thing actually does. Because I figure Phil is not knowledgeable about anything, but
You just want to
Anything
see if
left?
there's like some research. Yeah, see what that stunt actually does, because
I'm gonna do it.
yeah, there is just like research you could do straight up to like
So
see
like
if
find out what these creatures are.
yeah, or like see
Or what a
figure
fire
some-
dimension is.
yeah. You'd have to kind of figure out where you want to go figure that out or what, but yeah.
Can during this time, can I like use one of my stunts just to collect like information on Apollo?
In what way? Because you have some like journalism
Yeah,
stunts.
like using my word on the street to. It says I get an extra invoke when using intellect to create an advantage from an organization's reports. From my news.
Great. Yeah, so you have like sources basically.
Yeah.
And you can try to basically what you're doing is like exactly that. You're using intellect to try to like see what the word is on people from
Yeah.
sources, and that will give you basically just like an advantage you can invoke of just like I know something about this group, and you
Okay.
can use that later on to
When I'm actually with him.
yeah. And what does it give you the bonus? Is a +2 to make the advantage?
It's an extra invoke.
An extra invoke. So yeah, if you wanted to spend a little bit of time like like talk into your sources, see what you can figure out about like Apollo and his organization, then you could basically make an intellect roll
Okay.
against a difficulty of 2, and if you succeed, we'll give you the invoke you get for it, and then an extra invoke for your stunt.
Okay.
So my ability is once per session I can contact the Paranet and request assistance. The GM determines what aid the Paranet is able to provide, typically helpful information. Extraordinary circumstance could dictate in-person aid or warden intervention. Magic cups.
So basically, it's just like me. It's basically like
This is wet also.
you can like contact the Paranet and see like get
Does
information.
anyone know anything about horrible little demons?
Does it give you a bonus to do so? I won't lie. I
It
half
just-
spaced out.
Yeah.
I was half thinking of like what could-
121, I believe it's the page.
Yep. Yeah. So once. So basically, it's just like a free. Give me some information.
Yeah, give me some info.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll have that. We'll resolve that. Is there anything you want to do in the meantime?
Yeah, I think.
I know you have well connected. I don't know.
I
what-
do have well connected,
what
but
that
I
does.
think what I'm mainly doing at this point is going through every detail of how I set up the wedding to see if there's anything I could have done to prevent
A
Interesting.
said
photo
thing
for me?
from happening. Yeah.
Like if they're
essentially.
like trying to think back and think if there was like some like what detail did I miss?
Yeah, did I miss a detail? Did I
Interesting.
And I think I'm a person who does a ritual before the wedding to like guarantee best, everything
Consecrate the space.
goes well. So I'm also kind of thinking about that ritual and did I do anything weird or like
Interesting.
Did you have any like, interference? while
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
Let's go this way so I can think of what that would be because I think there could be something interesting in. So the Paranet.
So I
what-
drive to the library to use the library computer
'Cause-
because I don't have one.
Because they can see through your webcam, so you can't have one. I don't know. You're not a conspiracy nut. You're just an anti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. But no. I just feel like his house doesn't have power.
Right.
He built his house.
He's off the grid.
Yeah, he's off the grid.
Yeah.
He
What
built his house out of sandbags and Adobe.
What exactly are you
Yeah.
trying to find out?
I'm trying to find out, like, possibly, like, what these creatures were and where they came from, and who, if any, they serve. Are they like a?
And so you're using your Paranet, and that's once per session. I should give you a piece of useful information.
Mhm.
Interesting. So okay.
So I started a new thread. Scary little fire demons.
So here's what you here's what you get from the Paranet. Nobody
Yeah.
knows what these things are, but people have seen something similar, not in the area in the past, but like in various places.
at basketball games.
Yeah, and it's like they didn't have these masks, like
On.
these
Yeah.
like Sun Devil faces. Why am I so coffee? Because of the coffee. They didn't have those like same face coverings on. They were just like little fire demons.
Yeah.
But people are pretty sure from your description that it's the same type of thing.
Okay.
And basically what it was that time, they don't know what they are, but it was somebody had summoned basically, or like wrested control of like a little like plague of these little demons who just like are on this like fiery plane of awfulness. Somebody had basically like taken like somewhat control over them to like let them loose on the public.
Got it.
In that case, it was this
For like a specific purpose.
this was like a sorcerer who's like he knew he was about to get caught, and so he just like let in this other case that they're telling about he like took control of this like little tribe of demons essentially who are like not even really sentient. They're just kind of like semi-sentient demonic things, and he just basically like let them loose on the public and started
To like create a distraction.
exactly. But it was something that somebody had to put them
So
there.
they're not working independently. They're
Exactly.
they're
These are creatures that if they were left to their own devices, they would hop around on their little plane of fire and just like burn things and laugh and like
Yeah.
that's their basic existence. And then something acted on them to use them as
So
a
they
tool.
had to be summoned into this world.
Yes, that is your useful piece of information about them. So Sarah, you're trying to go through your sources. So I can't believe I named a character Sarah also, with just legitimately without making the connection. Anyway,
Very common name.
Yeah,
It is on the decline in terms of popularity, though.
rest in peace.
Kiss it while it's in the sky.
So you are going to make an intellect roll.
Yes.
Let's say off of a difficulty of 2, because this is something like this. What exactly were you trying to find out again? Like just stuff about Apollo?
Yeah, I'm trying to consult my sources on the information about Apollo and his history and past and stuff.
Let's say it's a difficulty of 2 because it's something that like people don't want to go on the record about Apollo because there's some like it's just dicey territory.
You go to Edith Hamilton's annotated Greek stories.
And this is an intellect.
Yeah, my intellect is normally a 3, but I am looking at a 1.
Cool. So you have a couple options. You could spend a fate point to bump that up. You could fail. You could just not be able to. You have another option. You could fail at a serious cost.
I'm just gonna fail.
Wait, fail? You mean succeed?
Or succeed at a You could fail, or you could fail, but it's bad.
Real bad.
You could succeed at a cost. Not maybe it's not like necessarily a serious cost, but it would be a cost.
I'm going to just fail.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I probably don't actually have that much power.
So you just found like a book in the library that was just ancient Greek
It's
myths.
just
Here's what I would say.
What's that book that's that we had to read it in high school? It's like Monsters, Gods, and something.
I have no idea.
It's like a classic high school piece of literature that has like a bunch of Greek myths in it. Anyways.
Here's what I would say. If you want the choice to succeed at a cost, you could mark.
Don't you have an ability with the gather information, or is that only to show up in a place?
That's my word on the street, which is what I was just doing.
That's basically if she succeeds on this roll, she gets an extra invoke on the advantage she creates.
Oh.
So she would create an advantage with two free invocations.
Got it.
So if you wanted to succeed at a cost, the cost would be that you mark 1 box of your indebted condition to someone, and we could work out who that is. But basically, you would owe somebody a little bit, and the only way that gets bad is if you mark all your boxes at some point, in which case you got to start either fixing favors or defaulting on your favors, which is not good. So that's your option. You could
maybe
succeed.
Maybe I will do that then, because I think I'm a young journalist. I'm willing to believe in karma and yeah.
And in fact, I'd almost say that like that would be maybe should have been a good compel of like you're not going to let like you have journalistic integrity to the maximum.
I do.
As your aspect, and you're not going to just like give up because your sources don't want to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say maybe that's a compel that like
cool.
You do have to take that, and you get a fate point for that.
Does that not get off your stack?
No.
Haha.
It's only hostile, so it's when an actor in the combat hostilely uses it to affect somebody else directly. I just have a general pile.
General pile?
I'm general pile of things.
Pile.
So what source do you think you go to who would know?
We didn't create faces for this.
You don't have to. This is what we're doing now when as we need them.
Okay.
So like, who do you think might know you like? There could be like somebody who's like a former Apollo cultist who's like a going clear type of like former Scientology person.
Yeah.
So maybe there's somebody who like
a former Apollo cultist, or even a current Apollo cultist,
or a current Apollo cultist
who's just willing to. I mean, depending on how secretive.
Yeah, I'd say either way is fun, whichever one you prefer.
Let's go former.
Cool. So former Apollo cultist. So go ahead and just to the side. You see where you got the indebted mark?
Yeah, I marked the box.
Maybe just mark 1 - former Apollo.
Okay.
And we'll deal with that maybe at some point, because now you owe them a bit of a favor, and they can call that in at some point, and you can we'll deal with that at
And
some
that
point.
person's name is Francis Pischetti.
No,
Phil Pischetti.
Francis,
That's his wife.
my
My
twin
ex-wife.
sister.
My ex-sister.
Cool. And so the information they give you, so this is an aspect, you now, let's just say for the time being, you have the aspect clued in on Apollo.
Okay.
Next time I'll just have like index cards so I can, so you
I have like little post-it notes for temporary aspects that we could use.
do you? Yeah, we should use
I have little
those.
tiny ones.
We should use those.
They are...
Oh.
Shoot.
Oh no.
All right.
All right, we're going to pause for a second while we clean up
No,
a lot
that's
of
fine.
water. Never mind.
I got a
Never
big
mind,
towel.
it's good.
Oh, we got a big towel.
A big towel.
He used a fate point to
Invoke
invoke
a
his
towel.
aspect messy boy to know that he has a towel on hand at all times.
I'm a messy boy.
So while they're, let me think through this. So you basically want to look through everything you did to see if you can like think of something, some detail that you missed that maybe could have.
Yeah, I have the giant wedding book that's just like, here's every single thing that we planned, and here's what we did, and here's the ritual I used, and
Cool. Give me an intellect roll. And this is going to be at a difficulty of, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a difficulty of 4 to try to get this right.
no, I just have 2.
You have 2?
Uh-huh.
So you also have the option, as always, and like, I'll keep reminding, but don't forget, if you really want to like try to make something happen, you want to, you can always try to invoke a relevant aspect to add to or re-roll, or to declare something.
Yeah, I mean, I think down to the last detail is probably what the...
That's absolute. You're
that's
literally
absolutely-
combing the details of
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, you don't by any means have to spend a fate point to do it.
Yeah, but I think...
but you certainly can if you want to bump that up to a
Yeah.
4 to get a
Because I think that's
success.
absolutely... Like, she's racking her brains, because this is the biggest...
Cool. So here's something that you think, and that you're thinking was, now that you think about it, a little bit odd, and it didn't strike you as odd at the time, but you remember that Apollo's secretary, whose name is...
Please, administrative assistant.
No, he calls her his secretary.
He does call her his secretary.
It's not good.
Her job title is actually administrative assistant.
His secretary, whose name is Vanessa Grijalves. I hope I'm saying that right.
All right.
She made a point again and again that it was very important how the stage was set up, that there be a podium here, that these people stand here, the priests stand here. She made it very important and made sure you repeated back to her, this is how this exactly needs to be set up. And that's where the portal happened to spawn. You don't know if that's coincidence, you don't know if that's important, but that's the only thing you can think of. Like, I guess they really made a big deal about that. And you know that, yeah. So I don't know if that's a thing, but
It was a thing, though.
it's
Yeah.
something. It's what you think. Probably won't matter at all. Just kidding.
Probably wasted your fate point.
Cool. So you have thank you for writing that. You have clued in on Apollo, and just right, you have 2 free invokes on that. And that's anybody can use those while dealing with Apollo.
2 boxes.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down and then I'm gonna put boxes.
And just to kind of generally like, so this is a former Apollo cultist, just to generally give like what you like this person talks to you about, and we'll figure out who they are at some point later.
And I've got little post-it notes for people.
Great. So they kind of tell you like, yeah, Paul, like this is like, they say it's a cult because it's like, the ancient Greek, like, oh, the cult of Diaphanes and the cult of Ra, like whatever. But this is like a cult. Like these people are indoctrinated and they live the life and they are like 100%, like they give it all for Apollo.
Okay.
And like he is working to like expand that out and try to like, he's trying to like, he wants to be the god of the sun.
They won't stop calling about solar panels.
Right, like they present themselves as a business, but it is a front for what is effectively a legitimate like cult.
Like-
Not dangerous.
Like Herbalife.
Yeah, a little bit. Like there is something
Or like
name
solar.
redacted-esque.
Yeah.
Nice.
Name that we said earlier.
Name we redact later-esque. We won't redact it. Who cares? We're small potatoes.
Small potatoes.
I'm a tiny potato.
Yeah, so like it's definitely like they're not like the same kind of like evil. Like he's not like, hey, yeah,
Kill.
you do
Cut
this,
out the
you
heart.
kill. Don't talk to. It's not like that.
There's not a
type of
punch
thing.
bowl. Like there's
Right.
not. Yeah.
But it is like, but you're gonna be
Wasn't there a
devoted.
punch bowl?
There was a punch bowl.
That's different.
I dumped it out though.
Yeah, so it's safe.
It's safe.
Anyway, that's what you guys know, and you have invokes, you have pieces of information.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else you like to? That's probably
No.
the time in between. If you want to go meet with Apollo, if you don't have to. Cool. So, you guys get to Apollo's.
Oh, I share the rest of the tamales with the homeless people at the library.
That's very nice of you.
Hey, we're here all the time. These are my buds.
You're only friends.
We hang out at the library all the time.
Do you want? Because the other thing is like. You guys can have up to like 5 aspects. I know you have like 4. I think you have 4. I think you have 3. So if there's a time where you like come across like just like I don't know a character trait that you decide on yourself that you like, if you want to be like
Friend of the homeless.
like something along those lines, like that could be an aspect of
Well, I
you.
currently have Life of a Traveler, which I think is kind
That
of like
that kind of fits.
sort
Like yeah, you're kind of not like vagrant's the wrong word,
But yes.
but like a
Nomad.
drifter. A drifter's what
Yeah.
I was looking for. Yeah.
I'm more familiar with non-traditional living situations than I
Yeah.
am with traditional
Great.
ones.
So you guys get to First Solar, which is where Apollo's business is, and you guys know that this is like a legitimate business that runs solar power and is kind of
Until the schism, and then there'll be Second Solar,
and just like endless solars.
Presbyterian Solar.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So
Protestant Reformation of solar.
yeah, so this building is like super modern, super like a lot of chrome, like that type of like ultra like somebody paid a cool architect to like make a cool building.
A lot of white marble.
A lot of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
soon
I've
as-
asked who the architect is before, just
Yeah.
as like a contacts
and like
list.
no
like
one will tell you.
no one will
Yeah.
tell me.
No one will say who the
It
architect
seems
was.
his office is probably the top floor, and it's probably
It's like-
all glass.
It's like a
including the
pinnacle.
ceiling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, including the ceiling. That's very funny.
It's like
He lives in a greenhouse. but
yeah,
it's fine.
Effectively, yeah, but he doesn't care, and it's like super warm in there. Great. So yeah, you go in, you go to the front desk, you say you have a meeting with Apollo. They kind of send you up to the top floor, and there's a small little like receiving area in the front where Apollo's secretary is. She greets you, like, oh, hello, and says it'll be just a few minutes. He's on the phone with another client, and he's very interested to see you. I'm sorry for all the stress that it sounds like you were put through today, and I'm glad that you're safe. And yeah, it'll be just a few minutes, and he'll be in to see you.
Great. Can I get your name?
Is Vanessa? It's on the plate. Well, sorry, plate hasn't come yet. Plate should be here next week. I'm actually new here, so don't have the plate yet.
Great. Hi, Vanessa. I'm Audrey.
like a plate.
Like a placard.
Oh,
That's the word I was looking for. A placard.
oh, okay.
I just write like new here in my little scrapbook of like everything that happened at the wedding.
Gotcha. Yeah, she is. She said she's only been here she's been in this capacity for a week. She was working on the 3rd floor, and now she's on the top floor.
Nice.
Um,
So
Working
is
her
there
way
a whole
up.
bunch of like columns and garden stuff around?
yeah.
It's just like
Yeah, this is like a nice, like, it's a nice Greek of it, like, but it's modern Greek of like chrome columns. Like,
oh god, he's so tacky.
it's super tacky. He's so old school, but like trying to be like rich and fancy.
Yeah. If there's any grapevines.
No grapevines. He's worried people will hear in his office.
Oh my god.
Cool. So yeah, she says it'll be a couple of minutes, and if you want to wait, he'll be in to he'll call you in shortly.
Okay.
And from in the office behind the door, you just hear him shouting like, "I am not pleased with the affairs of," like
Yeah.
he's still shouting the same. He can't get over it. Yeah. So it'll be about 10 minutes, real time. Just kidding.
Okay, we wait for 10 minutes.
If there's anything you guys want to do while you're waiting, that's fine. But if not, we can cut.
I'm
right
like
to it.
straightening up their outfits as best I can.
I'm gonna pull my fold out like cup thing out of my bag so I can listen through the door.
No. If you want to do that for real, she was like, don't do that.
Okay.
You know don't do that. You know not to do that, right? You can't listen to a door in someone's office. I can see you doing it.
Do I? Do I know?
He can see you doing it. It's a
Everyone-
glass
it's
door.
a glass door. Yeah, you see him inside just going like, what are you? He's like got his Bluetooth in. He's like, what are you doing? Go away. That's fine. Cool. So yeah, a couple minutes pass and he just like you hear an intercom buzz and he's like, send him in. He's like, he'll see you. He's in a little bit of a bad mood, so just kind of tread lightly. It's but she kind of unbuzzes the door and it opens and you can walk back in. And he just like slams down a phone as you come in.
Even though he was up
Even
too.
though
Yeah, he's just literally just picks up a phone and is like slamming it down over and over again.
nice. It's a decoy.
Yeah, the real phone is hiding.
Well, his Bluetooth would be connected to his cell phone.
Bluetooth's connected to the
Cell phone.
Yeah, so he was like, all right, you're here, good. I was going to be PO'd if you didn't. All hell's gone loose. You understand that? Literally all hell's gone. Devil's shown up. My daughter's fiance is dead. Not that I care that much. It's kind of a doof. It was fine. She loved him. Meh. But she's gone
Kind of a
into...
doof.
Do you guys both have separate notebooks?
Yeah, we both have
Yeah.
separate notebooks.
Mine looks way more official though.
Oh, does it though?
Yeah.
Mine looks
You guys probably
way
look...
cuter though.
That's true.
Mine's a thing that says "Go Sun Devils" on it.
Mine has just little hearts in the margins. That's like
Good.
the whole
Great.
Mine is nothing.
thing.
And he's
I'm
like,
playing with some devil sticks.
no, don't you bring devil sticks in.
Oh, I have brought a little gift baggie of sun chips.
Oh, he's gonna eat those.
It's like, there you go.
Like, my daughter has descended into hell to reclaim her lover's soul. I don't know if that's gonna work, but she should be fine. She's got my protections on her. But while she is gone, until she returns, if she's victorious... One of my kids did it ages ago. Have you heard the story?
No.
My idiot son, Orpheus. My dumb idiot son. His wife dies. She goes into Hades. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, go get her. They're like, okay, you can have her, but, don't look back to check and see if she's there. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he was going out and he's like, wait, but what if she's not there? He looks back. She's dead for good. Dumb idiot.
And then he ate a pomegranate.
I believe he did eat a pomegranate. I think that's correct. I
all
don't
right,
remember.
right?
It's a long time
Persephone ate
ago.
a pomegranate for
Oh.
sure.
Lots of us ate pomegranates in those days. We loved pomegranates.
They're very
It's
popular.
just too much effort.
Too much effort. I agree. But I have people to make pomegranates for me now.
And I have stock invested in.
I got
Palm
stopped in
Wonderful.
Palm. Yeah. Good company, bad ownership. He's like, so I don't. It's been whether she gets his soul back. I don't know. What I'm concerned about is somebody brought fire into my house and threatened my people with my stuff. You know what I mean? That's mine. Fire's mine. I'm the god of the sun. You understand that? Like you don't come in like the god of music's house and like sing a song at him.
They didn't do that.
No, I understand, but they put fire into my house. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy with the events, and I also keep going between a New Jersey guy and a this guy, and I can't figure out what he is. So it's weird. But I this is not going to stand.
Is there a group or a person that would have reason to get you PO'd like this?
Oh yes, there is, and I know exactly who it is. I'm certain. You've heard of the Phoenix, I assume.
The city?
Phoenix, Arizona?
Yes. You probably heard like legends of like the phoenix that lives in Arizona. Ostensibly there is a phoenix that protects Arizona, and nobody's ever like seen it exactly, but there's like people tell there's like
a cousin of a brother saw it.
or like they remember like seeing a shape flying overhead, and the next time they looked it was gone, or like they like unexplainable things, and there's like a legend that there is a phoenix, and like
Oh, is that why it's called Phoenix?
yes, exactly.
I thought those were UFO sightings.
No, the UFOs not so much.
Well, technically, if it wasn't identified, then it was an unidentified flying object.
It's a very good
What
point.
the gist of it is, I came here a while back from Greece. You know, this is my new place, my new thing, and I saw giant bird and a phoenix. Like I've seen phoenixes before. We had them back then. I've seen phoenixes, and I said, "Oh, you're a phoenix," and it goes, "No, I'm not." And I go, "But clearly you are," and it gets upset at me. The nerve, quite frankly. And since then, we've had a bit of a contentious relationship. That's why I'm out here in Tempe instead of the city proper. He doesn't so much like me operating within Phoenix's bounds, and we're working on a compromise and a couple things trying to go, but it's a dispute. It's a corporate dispute, essentially. So that's what I'm thinking, is he's taking this a little bit too far. He's killed a person. I say he. I don't actually know. But it's killed a person, and this can't stand. This is a business. This is business, and they're making it personal. And they've killed a person, a human being. And my daughter, she could die. She could die. She won't, because I'm protecting her, and but the fact remains. They've insulted me, and they've killed my own, and business is not worth it. I can't exactly go into the city to deal with it myself. There's certain tenuous arrangements and certain things keeping me away. I'm hoping you might act as my emissaries to deal with this little thing and show them that we're not going to let them stand for violence, and we're not going to let them take this business beyond what it is. Understand? That's what I'd like from you.
Well, as an emissary of your sister?
Probably. We'll say yes for now.
Sister?
Well,
Which one? I've got hundreds.
Wait, sister or aunt? Or...
Well,
Or both.
Some family relations.
Yeah,
Some-
family.
Yes.
I
A
think
member
it's
of
sister
the-
and aunt.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think they're all Zeus's children. I don't know.
We're all Zeus's
No, I
children.
think Aphrodite's separate.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she's
we-
a Titan's.
She's a Titan.
She's a Titan's daughter.
Anyway, they're all
Anyway.
Sort of. I
Yeah.
think they castrated a Titan in the ocean.
They grew up together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
grew up together.
they know
Something
each
with a
other.
half shell.
Yeah.
I believe that she would want to help you.
Oh, of course.
So I
We were
will-
So
I am
used
glad.
to be so close.
Used to be.
I moved away and we've drifted apart, and you know how these things go. We can't. We don't Skype or anything. It's not that she doesn't know how to use it. I know how to use it.
Okay.
I've used it.
Me too. I know how to use it.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's Skype sometime.
We should Skype.
So I think at this point she wants to kind of show him the layout of that stage and ask about it, because it was signed off on, but obviously it was kind of with his secretary and not with him.
Gotcha. So, yeah. So you want to just like show it to him and just like, are you trying to like make a point about it, or just like show it and see what he
I
thinks?
just want to see what he thinks about that, because like
Oh, sure. So you're showing like, I mean, a portal opened up on the stage. I'm glad that no one was standing where it came. That certainly seems as if that would have been dangerous, but I don't see what this has to do with anything. It could have just as easily opened up in the kitchen or anywhere.
I just know that your secretary was very adamant about this particular configuration, and I just wanted to
Oh, Interesting.
see if.
Vanessa, get in here.
And then I'm immediately like, uh-oh.
She comes in like, can I help you? Yes, this is the wedding planner from the event. You've had contact with her, I believe, and
Hello.
she's saying that you were very particular. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell her yourself?
Oh, I just know that that you had signed off on these, and that you were very specific about how you wanted the configuration to be. And
Yeah.
and I had assumed that it was through Apollo that you made these particular configurations.
I was working with the bride and the groom to try to give them what they wanted. Is something wrong? Am I in trouble for something?
I don't know. I just assumed that you had gotten Apollo's sign off on this, but that I wasn't.
Oh, he no offense, wasn't interested at all in any of this. Like, no, I wasn't. I didn't even want to go, but they said I had to. These things like not so interesting to me. I'm more of a big picture guy. So no, I didn't sign off on anything. I frankly didn't.
Did you
want
say that the bride and groom were insistent on these?
I didn't think so. It was mostly through the secretary. She just said, yeah.
I mean, as much as anything, they were insistent on the flavor of the punch, and they were insistent. She was a little bit of a, I don't want to say it. I'm sorry, a bridezilla. To use the popular phrase, a bit of a bridezilla and a bit of a.
Apollo does not get that reference.
No, he has no idea.
Just watch Godzilla films.
Um,
Was she the one who insisted on this stage configuration, or?
Well, sure, but she also was insistent on everything. It was kind of it was a difficult process, and especially she was transitioning. I was transitioning into her old job out of my old job, and.
Oh, she was the secretary before?
Oh, yes, she was. She's retiring at 28.
Great.
Interesting.
And I don't know what to tell you. I just was trying to tell you what they wanted, and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it seem like she's lying?
There's no real, like, there's no, like, here's what I'm going to say about this. There's no, like, insight roll like there is in D&D. I think the best way to go about it in this system is make the decision for yourself. And there's no, like, it's short of a way to, like, force people to tell them, or like a stunt.
Trying to overcome their lying.
Yeah.
Would that be like an overcome roll?
That certainly could be, though I don't like the necessarily like cut and dry of like you for sure know it's true or a lie. Like, I think like you could have stunts that, because I also like I'm not a fan of the like, well now we're rolling so you know something's up. Yeah. But I could say like, how about if you want to try to discern that, we can do that, but it doesn't necessarily, the fact that I'm rolling it, if we ever do this, doesn't necessarily imply one way or another, because if you're looking to like make this type of roll, I'm going to roll no matter what. Like whether it's true or a lie, and we'll see what that is. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because I don't want, that's not to say this is a truth, this is a lie, this is anything, that like, that's just maybe how we should approach that, because I like the idea of being able to see if you're good at telling the truth or a lie, but I don't like the fact that there is a roll, meaning that there is something to find out.
Yeah.
So if you'd
but there would be a roll no matter what, because we don't know whether something's a truth or a lie.
Right.
So
right.
So it's not like you're spoiling it by having a roll happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I make a charm attack via texting to her? Just like, hey, I know it's not your deal. I don't want Apollo to like.
Is this mid-scene? Like you just send her a text?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a little like.
Like using your charm attack, like it's kind of a magical text.
A magical text. Where it's just like, hey, I know it's not you. I just look. We all deal. We're working for a very.
Here's what. Yes, you can. It's an actual attack though, so it's like it's not hostile, obviously. But basically, like how that'll work is if you want to do that in a way that will like force her to do something.
You have to put her out.
You basically have to put her out or put a condition on her. So you have to deal enough damage to versus her defense of it to like actually like you basically have to win a combat against her. So it may be that could be a thing like if you did want to start a social combat right now, we certainly could. It would be like it would be a versus though. So yeah, absolutely, we could do that right now.
I think I kind of want to just have kind of a.
So here's the question of it: is like, what's your objective?
So my objective is to just try to like, essentially, kind of, because she's all high strung right now, to kind of calm her down and go like, is there anyone who specifically told you to do this? Like, I know we've got difficult.
So
like,
you basically you think that she's not telling you a truth?
I think not that she's not telling the truth, but that maybe she forgot that there was an intermediary somewhere who told her about this, or maybe it was the bride.
You want her
like,
to recall it accurately.
yeah,
you want to like cut past all the stuff, all the like.
All of the trying to cover her own ass. And,
yeah.
Because that's like that's the thing with like especially physical combat. Like most of the time, you know what your objective is. It's to beat the other side.
Yeah.
But social combat, you want to define like what your objective is, so that if you win, you know what you're going to try to have.
Yeah.
Great. So if that's the thing, so go ahead and basically you'll start the combat, and you guys will all be involved in it as well.
Okay.
So since you took the first action, you get to go first. Then.
Is it just a secret combat happening under Apollo's nose?
Well, it's not even a secret. It's like he can certainly, if he is not oblivious to everything, which he probably is, can certainly tell that like
Someone's
you guys
texting,
are like not even necessarily like that there's a secret text, but this is like you guys are trying to get
Grilling her.
essentially like this is just a grilling. This isn't out of the ordinary. This isn't something where somebody would go like, hey, cut out that social combat. This is just like, oh yeah, you guys are like trying to get her to like spill it if there's something to spill.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I want to make a charm
brains.
attack, I think.
Either if it's too warm, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, so
We'll have you go later in the.
Yeah, please. I don't think I'm very good at social combat.
Well, but
Brandon.
you could certainly have ways. You just don't have any stunts.
I don't have a phone. I can't have ways.
that's true.
I hate you. Get away.
That's the second time he's made that joke that week.
Alright.
Week.
That week.
That week.
All right, so I am gonna charm.
So that's a guile attack.
Is that love points?
No, I think the thing we gave you for the stunt is that
Charm
you
is-
can spend a box to get plus 2 on the
plus
roll.
2. Right. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a charm attack.
Cool. She's gonna defend.
And that is 6.
And she rolled a 2. So basically, you've got 4 shifts on her. You can either do 4 damage, or you can deal 3 damage and get a boost. And you can spend that boost before the end of your next turn.
I'll do the 3 and a boost.
Cool. Whose turn is it next?
It is.
It could be her turn also.
It's Audrey's turn.
And how are you?
Actually-
And what's that text say?
Oh, the text says.
Yeah, very important. What this?
Yeah, it says. It's hard because I want to make sure like it's not something if Apollo sees it he'll take offense, but I think like
Sure.
It'll be like we both know it's tough working for a fast-paced
You're like trying to like be like, listen, I
Listen,
get
yeah,
I
like,
get the stress.
I
you're under.
understand. We've been working for the same guy. You know, that kind of like.
Yeah.
I get that you're under
You can
stress.
you
like,
can trust me that like.
Yeah, I'm not going to get you into trouble. Like,
Gotcha.
just yeah. And I think she writes in complete sentences on texts.
Great.
Like
yeah,
she's
of
not an
course.
abbreviator. Like
Cool. Yeah,
Well,
and,
yeah.
and that's good because like social combat doesn't have to mean like
Yelling and threatening.
no, it can mean like getting them on your side.
Yeah, because I think that's what I want to do. Where it's just like,
Great.
Like we know we work for a for a fast-paced CEO, and
Yeah. Cool. So you've sent this magical text, which also just is kind of is basically just a guile attack
Yeah.
anyway.
Uh-huh.
You probably didn't even actually need your ability to do that in this specific case because it is just a guile attack.
yeah.
Cool. So whose turn is it next? Sarah's? Or yeah, Audrey's.
Yes, sorry. Oh, the heat was making me sleepy.
And you don't have to take a turn. You know, there's no reason not to, but
Yeah.
by no means do you have to do anything.
It's also
So-
like to decide on whether or not they saw me send that text, or if they're just continuing on their
Yeah.
Yeah.
own like.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be very attentive to because I'm writing notes and
Yeah.
whatever. I probably wouldn't be paying attention to what was going on with the magical text. Anyways,
So you see, like, she like gets a text all of a sudden and just
Yeah.
kind of like looks at it and looks up at you and goes like she's not sure how to respond to that even, or even that she should like respond out loud.
Yeah. Are you gonna do anything?
So I'm a little rusty on how invokes.
So basically, you have 2 free ones for that advantage, clued in
Right.
on Apollo. And how it works, you can spend it when you make any type of roll
Yeah.
to either give yourself just a straight up +2.
Well, this is only when I'm using intellect.
Oh no, that was to use intellect to create an advantage.
Oh, okay.
You've created an advantage, and the advantage is the aspect clued in on Apollo.
Okay.
So if that aspect is helpful
Yeah.
in whatever you're trying
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys can also tag
Yeah,
that as
yeah.
well. You have 2 free. So basically, like, you can the roles are always create an advantage, attack, defend, or overcome an obstacle of some
Okay.
type. And so you can use that to basically give any of those rolls a +2, or to re-roll it,
Okay.
or to like you can also use it to like declare something, like not something major, but like something.
There's a Sun Devil in here.
Yes.
Can I use it to find out if, like, not find out if he's telling the truth, but like, find out if what he's saying is about what Apollo was saying about like his feelings towards this whole issue, if like this is accurate? Like,
Yeah, so
because-
basically you're just trying to like suss out, like we were kind of talking about. He
Yeah.
may or may not have something to hide, but you're trying to suss out.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead and make a probably. How do you think you're doing this? Are you trying to like analyze what he's saying to see for inconsistencies? Are you getting a gut feeling? Like,
I guess
what are you?
what I'm imagining is I'm comparing it to what his former cultist has told me.
Cool. So I would say that is an intellect roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
Remember.
Yeah, to like
if-
compare
I mean,
facts
if
and
the former cultist is like, oh yeah, he is a sociopath and doesn't
Yeah,
care about
yeah, yeah,
anyone, like including his daughter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Make an intellect roll, and I'm gonna roll as well. But again, this roll doesn't necessarily mean he has anything to hide. This roll could not matter.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it either way, just so that there's no way
Yeah.
you know.
So we don't know
Yeah.
whether or not you're rolling in order to conceal something.
Yep.
Cool.
Classic D&D tactic.
Yeah.
I have an intellect of 5.
Oh, altogether.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So he actually has a roll of a 7. I probably shouldn't tell you that, but I guess it could matter
But I
because you
did.
want to spend. So you are 2 under. If you could use clued in on Apollo, one of those free invokes to add +2, and you would tie it. That is an option.
Boost.
Or you could fail, or you could fail at a cost, or you could succeed at a cost. I did it again.
Or you could use a free invoke and a fate point to boost yourself over.
Well, if she matches it, you
Oh,
get
you
it.
get it, yeah.
The only benefit is if you beat it by 3 or more, you get like a succeed
Boost
with
later.
style or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, but
Well, what do you guys think in terms of gaining
Free
this
invoked.
information?
Yeah.
Use a free invoke.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
so yeah, so you match his whatever roll, guile probably to see if he's like
Yeah.
Flair.
and basically like your feeling at like matching up the facts is it's like yeah, that's pretty much him. Like he's not so involved in the affairs of mortals.
Yeah.
Like he loves his daughter. He's kind of like she'll live her life. She's immortal. Blah 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 blah. I'm a
Yeah.
god. I'm gonna do god
I've
stuff.
had a lot of kids.
Yeah, I've had a lot of kids. They live, they die. I get another one.
Yeah.
Like he's not exactly like sociopath you wouldn't call, but it's like he's a god in a world of mortals, and it's kind of like
And he knows that.
yeah, it's like
You can only care about you can care about humans certain amounts, and then like your pet's a different amount.
right. You've got an ant farm, and you like you pay attention to it, but if one ant dies, like well you might not notice that right away, or
If it's queen ant, probably you'll notice.
yeah
And
yeah,
if
yeah.
it's your favorite ant, and
Maybe,
The one that you painted.
but
with
it's
a
still an ant.
I feel like
it's still an ant.
he cared when like the first of his children died
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit,
yeah, yeah.
and then was just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, that was in the
Well,
BC.
yeah.
Like,
100 times later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the feeling that that's he's on the level about not really caring that much.
Okay, so he probably is genuinely, I guess, somewhat concerned about his daughter, but more just mad that it ruined.
It's a little bit of
he's,
both, yeah.
He's more, I guess, could I classify it as he's more upset that the wedding went poorly than he
Because
is
it
about.
reflects badly on him.
It reflects
Yeah.
badly on him, and it's like he takes it as a personal insult, as he was saying that somebody would like use fire, his element,
my thing.
to like.
Though, I mean, not really.
Well, but
I mean, there's other Greek gods.
sure.
But yeah. that's
So
how
whose turn is next? You've got Apollo, you've got Vanessa, and you've got Phil,
I'm gonna. Pass
and you've got the
Phil.
desk. The desk gets a turn.
Oh,
It opens
because
and
it's
shuts
a-
on its
because it's a
own.
mimic.
Yeah.
Oh well, then the desk for sure. And then Phil.
Phil? Phil wants to. Oh yeah, Phil was like, "Hey, Apollo. So, I learned that these demon things have to be kind of pointed. They're like a weapon. It's not like they're independent.
Makes perfect sense.
So, like, can a phoenix like do magic? Because I know that a magic person can do it.
I assume so. He also has an organization at his of people at his beck and call, which I assume they may have access to something. He could have allies who are all conspiring against me. It's very possible.
Do you know like any like powerful magic people around who would do that?
Who would do that specifically? No, though. There's people across the world who would have access to power that would want, a favor from a powerful being.
Oh
or-
yeah. No,
yeah.
I was just wondering if you
I don't know
knew
any
about-
specifically, but I'm sure there could be. I'm sure he has access to whatever he needs. I certainly, if I needed it, I could find it. Not that I'm doing that, but anyone could.
Okay.
Uh,
You're not?
Not for this purpose.
Okay.
Wink. He winks and the sun goes out for a second. Maybe true.
Yeah.
A cloud.
A cloud passes over the sun. Yeah. So whose turn is next? You've got him and his secretary.
Him.
Cool. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't have any
Vested interest.
vested interest. She is going to basically make an attack against you. And she is going to explain that she is just the person who was passing on information.
Got it.
That's all it was. She is the person who was like dealing with this, and it was more of a pain to her than anything. And kind of like going into like, this is what I had to deal with, and this is what I had, and like showing a list of like all the stuff she had to deal with, attacking with intellect basically to kind of like show you like, don't worry, this like stop please, like this is all it is. I'm dealing with it.
so I'm also using intellect, yeah?
You don't have to. You could be like it depends how you think you're defending against this like line of logic. This is Fate. This is the Dresden Files Accelerated, which is a variation of Fate Accelerated.
Yeah.
For Pinky the mostly purple. You seem very purple from our end. So you could defend with intellect also if you're trying to like look for inconsistencies. You could defend with flair if you want to start going like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, like
Or force, yeah.
or force or guile to like figure out
Yeah, I
like
almost
what's your
think
game.
It's
like
still guile where it's just like I'm still in that zone of like
I could see of
Yeah,
like
but
trying to figure out
come
like
on,
I
yeah.
see the game you're playing and I'm 2 steps ahead. Like
Didn't you say
yeah,
this thing?
just do
Yeah.
one more thing. Anyway, so yeah, feel
I
free
really
to.
need to watch an episode of that.
Nah.
Just so I can get a
yeah,
reference.
so
Okay.
so that is a 6
Columbo,
total.
I think.
Great. So you don't take any stress because this was an attack, and she's going to choose herself to go first and do the exact same, like continue the list. Like, and I had to do the punch bowls, and I had to do the decorations.
I had to put the poison in the. Oops.
So that is 1 + 3, 4.
Great. So again, you're just like you're like, nah, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just like, oh,
This
I
is
know. I think it's
Every
like
day.
yeah.
She's gonna choose Phil to go.
Phil.
Phil to go.
I'm gonna look at the at the plan that she has, and sort of see if there's any mystical significance in it.
Which of the plan?
The plan of the altar and the like. If
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
glean any sort of like
Yeah, interesting.
magical symbology.
Go ahead and make an
or-
intellect roll. Let's say this is like creating an advantage, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
if you can think of something that like, yeah. So create an advantage, intellect against +2, maybe.
Oh, intellect's not my lowest. Guile is my lowest.
Intellect against 2.
Ooh, and I get a +1, which brings me up to 2.
Cool. So you've created an advantage. Basically, you notice that like,
Can I have a-
maybe not even necessarily anything arcane,
Mhm.
but like something symbolic about like this is like that you say like, man, this doesn't seem like accident.
Yeah.
That like the portal looks like from the like drawing, it looks like it was put directly between the husband and the groom and the bride.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't feel like
aspect like some sort of like a arcane significance.
Or like
Yeah.
just deliberate.
yeah. And you have 1 free invoke on that.
Got it.
Or anybody has 1 free invoke on that. Cool. So that's you point that out. Like no,
Yeah,
there's
this
no
is-
way. Yeah.
I mean, it's very unlikely that the sort of thing required to open this portal would happen by accident, because something like this is requires a lot of power and a lot of focus and symbology. So this is like if I were going to summon a portal, which I can't do, I don't know, but I mean like I talk to people who can. So if I were them, then I would do this. That's what he says.
Great. Whose turn is next?
So we're back up to top. Oh no.
We all.
I'm the only one
The
that's
secretary's gone and you've gone.
Got it. I'm gonna have you go to maybe hopefully
Soften her up.
soften her, put another aspect so you can really.
Oh yeah, because that's the other thing is if you create enough aspects, you could like death blow it.
Yeah.
Death blow text
And we're still talking to Vanessa.
and Apollo's there as well. But
Oh,
But he seems mostly to.
he's in the conversation, but he's
He's
like,
like-
this is all like stuff.
Yeah.
Why am I
This is
even
things.
being consulted?
I have like big pictures.
He's
to-
also scrolling through Twitter at the same
yeah,
time.
I can use Twitter too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't get the username Apollo, but I got real Apollo _6.
Nice.
Nice.
underscore son.
Let's see.
The other thing you can do also, this is just a minor detail, you can use the create an advantage to also just add free invokes to already created advantages. So if you wanted to try to like, whatever, like give another free invoke to you're clued in on Apollo or to the however arcane significance. If you wanted to like try to add an invoke to that, you can just give more invokes to things that already exist.
Okay.
It's effectively the same as creating new aspects.
But it's just existing one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can the same player invoke the same aspect twice in one?
You can't invoke this, not in the same turn.
Okay.
You can invoke as many aspects as you want, but not the same one more than once.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you could spend like,
or at least not for the same action.
Yeah.
And you're only really allowed one action a turn in this, so
There might be something that has more than one roll, but so you could do it maybe for.
Say if like you're opening you're holding a big jar and it's full of acid and you need to open it.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that was an example from the original game.
I want to ask Vanessa what she knows and how she feels about the potential groom who died.
Cool. And do you think is this just like straight up trying to get information, or is there like a pointedness? Like it doesn't have to be. It could just be straight up like, what was his like?
Yeah, I want to know both what her impression of him was, but I also am asking her that question to see if the way that she tells us that information will tell us anything about how she feels about him.
Great. Yeah, she kind of answers. It's like he was, his stuff was mostly like he wanted his friends to play the music. And she that wasn't gonna be okay. Like no one wanted that.
Yeah.
And like he wanted like the colors to be like silver and black, like which are the colors of his guitar. Like he had a lot of demands that were
pushed down.
Stupid, and like he kind of went like, oh well. Like,
so he wasn't hostile because his demands were not met.
No, he kind of went like...
He didn't open a portal to have himself killed because his demands were...
I specifically remember I specifically remember a day where he was like, okay, the wedding colors are silver and black. And everyone said no. And he's like, all right, how about gold and orange? And everyone said no. And he's like, how about red and nightshade? And everyone was like, what's nightshade? Like, he was just kind of like, well, cool, how about this? Like, he wasn't upset.
He just wanted everything to be his idea.
Not even necessarily that. Like he just had a lot of ideas. We'll see you again, Pinky the Mostly Purple. We'll be here every week probably, or most weeks.
Yeah, most weeks.
Yeah. So she kind of gives it like he was involved.
Oh yeah, we'll post the video later so you can watch the whole thing.
This 3-hour video.
Yeah, I'll edit it. Or it's 3 hours. He was involved and just very enthusiastic, but not like too
Okay.
Not controlling.
Not
just
too
like,
not like why won't my ideas? Just like, well, here's another one.
He didn't like grab her arm when she and like leave bruises.
Right. Cool. So that's your turn. So I assume yours probably because you're the only one left.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'm gonna kind of continue the text chain where she's just like, oh, I know, believe me, I know, like.
It's so funny that you're doing this over text instead of just. But I understand why.
Yeah, just
and
like.
again, you're trying to like get her to be like, you can open up to me.
Like,
I get it.
And like, just it's everything's okay. We're all friends here. Like, if it's just possible for you to remember, like maybe somebody specific. Was an intermediary in this scenario, that kind of thing.
Cool.
Like,
go ahead and make.
Have looked on the bottom of the candle.
That's true. I have it written down. So that's a guile roll. And she's gonna oppose that.
Ooh. So that is 0. But did I get a boost last turn?
You did get a boost last turn.
Mm-hmm.
You have a couple of free invokes as well that you could choose to use to either re-roll or to add +2. And you could also, you have 1 fate point that you could spend on tapping an aspect.
Right,
so the boost gives you +2.
Boost gives me +2.
And you can get +4 for
And I
these
could
last
get-
2.
Or a reroll since you rolled -3.
-3 is...
Yeah, I might do a reroll.
I think the math is, it's better to reroll if it's -3 or -4.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's better to take the
There's a
-2.
whole page
Yeah.
in the manual that gives you the statistics
Yeah.
of when it's good
Which
to
is
do
very
that.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna reroll
Using which one?
using
Arcane significance?
What's the
Arcane
easiest-
significance included on Apollo.
Yeah, I think it might even be just clued in on Apollo because I think it's just
Like you start writing the text and you're like, wait a minute. Like you're like, I get what it can be like to like hard work, and then maybe like erase and be like, work for a kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, where I'm just like
Apollo's kind of like
Yeah.
cool. So go ahead and re-roll that. That's
There.
the opposite.
That's the opposite. So I get 6 total.
6 total. Do you want to add either of the free invokes to like drive the point home? You have, or you have one extra free
Yeah, so we
invoke
just have one.
and your boost.
I'm gonna add a boost.
Your boost
like
is at
why
plus
not?
8. You could spend the invoke. You could save it if 8's enough, as the
Let's
TV
just
show said.
save it because I mean, you know,
Is that
Sorry,
a reference
8
to
is
Johnny
good.
Kate plus 8?
No, there's an old TV show called 8 is Enough
Oh.
about a big family, but essentially.
With 8 kids and they
Cool.
divided.
So
so that's an 8.
So
Or, yeah.
she is taken out. You guys have taken her out of the combat effectively.
Oh, I also because that boost was just I know what her favorite emoji was at the end of it.
Nice.
So
What is it?
it's the winky elephant.
Yep. Okay.
There's a winking elephant?
I don't know.
Oh.
There is in this for the purposes of this. That's canon. So
The poor
Yeah, I'm literally writing it down.
favorite
winky
emoji.
elephant emoji.
Whatever. Maybe that's coming.
Because I know
later.
that she used that in several of our exchanges.
Gotcha. That's fine. Cool. So
Nice.
you do take her out, and not only do you take her out, you actually have marked her in peril condition. So
Taking her out.
yeah. So I think that condition probably is something like knows she can trust Heather. Probably is something like that.
Yeah.
No, she can trust Heather to not push her under the bus with her boss. Like,
Right.
she can
Yeah.
tell
Just
her.
kind
Yeah.
of generally, like she knows she can trust her a little bit,
Yeah.
like
On her
or
side.
like something along those lines.
Yeah.
Heather won't get me in trouble.
And so she's basically like, what the effect of this is, she is still like listing like, and I had to do the drapes, and I had to do the bunting, and like she's like listing it off with this hand, and you see her other thumb. She's not even looking at the keyboard. She's texting with her other thumb, puts it back in her pocket, and you just get a text that says like, gotta be professional in front of the boss. Talk later, Winky Elephant.
She knows where Winky Elephant is on the keypad without looking.
She has the stunt texting adept.
She's used
Yeah.
it.
You joke,
Phonomancer.
but I'm literally writing texting adept on her entry.
Good.
Or no, the Winky Elephant.
That's the name of the bar she wants to open.
That is why I wrote that, because I was like, welcome to the Winky Elephant.
Oh man.
Cool. So, so this combat is effectively over. She's made it clear, like, I don't want to talk about this right now, but like,
But yeah,
but she trusts you. She's open to maybe talking later.
So what do you want us to do, Apollo? Go to Phoenix and
I'd like you to go to Phoenix, talk to the Phoenix itself, talk to the people that it deals with, and let them know that this kind of violence will not be tolerated. I will be forced, if there is not an apology issued, I will be forced to retaliate. I don't want to, but these are how these things goes. You can't come into my house and steal my rugs. Or my children.
they're the same. They're the same to him.
Effectively the same. I do have some good rugs.
Sometimes your rugs live. Sometimes you get a new one.
Right.
They'll die.
Sometimes a dead body gets wrapped up in one. And you have
These
to-
things, they happen. They get mixed around. And I want you to talk to him and tell him that this will not be allowed to stand. If there is one more incursion against me, I will be forced to retaliate. And I want my daughter returned, and that's all.
Not her husband's soul.
If she gets that back, great. But that's her job.
She's a widow now. They did get married.
They did
technically.
get married, technically.
Oh, did they?
They put the candles together, and that was the.
okay.
And I just very quietly, say to Apollo, I know this was such a tragedy. But did you still want your concert photos that have been taken? I can forward. I can forward those to you.
Oh, yes, I do. Send them to me through Dropbox. I've got the app on my PC's desktop, and it automatically synchronizes.
I'll have that taken care of.
He loves computers.
This guy, who wouldn't?
He just
He
lived through a
used
time where people had to farm everything themselves.
and etch things into stone and
Yeah.
write them down.
That's great. That's this aspect now.
Loves computer.
It's one of them. Actually mistyped, and it's lovers' computers. So
Well,
I'll
same
remember
thing.
He has sex with computers.
Fonzie. Yeah, so
Foxy.
that is
We know how to say that.
no.
Copyrighted.
Copyright.
So Vanessa kind of nods and like, well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of this. If there's nothing else, go do my bidding. Go do my bidding. Why are you still here, Vanessa? Take a memo. And he starts like, before you even go, just like starts like riffing off a memo of like, dear stockbrokers, guess what? I did it again.
Dear stockbroker.
So he is like done with you.
Okay,
And she's like
cool.
frantically. But she on the way out just goes like, see ya. Like, yeah. She's clearly she's got work to do, so probably that's something you'll want to follow up on later.
Yeah. We'll
But
say, oh, when is your lunch?
I don't get lunches.
Oh, very well.
Or any breaks for that matter.
Very well.
I'll probably be here pretty late tonight, I have a feeling.
Interesting. I'm actually doing a story right now on labor laws. Can I interview
Oh,
you later?
no labor law stories. We don't. She gets breaks all the time. 2 lunches, 10 meal breaks. I feed her good overtime. We don't need to get OSHA involved in any of this. Those meddling fools.
Interesting. And I take a pen from behind my ear and lick
Eat
the
it.
tip. And eat it.
Shove it into my own ear.
Ooh.
Magic.
I just say to Vanessa, oh, we should get coffee sometime. It'd be
I'll
great.
send you a text.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
I can text too.
I'm so proud of it.
He's got like one of those big phones.
He's got a BlackBerry.
He's got like an iPad that he holds like a phone.
He's someone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
he doesn't
Okay.
understand emojis, but he uses them frequently.
Yeah.
Cactus, sun.
Sun, big
Wave.
turtle.
Claiming emoji.
Yeah.
Don't enter emoji.
Cool. So that's the end of that scene. And I don't know how much longer you guys want to go for. I could do whatever. We could keep going, or we could.
How long have we been at it?
3 hours,
3 hours
and 10 minutes.
It kind of flew by faster than I thought it would. Because
It did.
I had a lot more,
Yeah, I
but
was
by no means
surprised.
we have to go through it today. Up to you guys. We could do another scene. We could do. I don't have any like big scenes planned, so we could call it there. We could do
We
another.
should end on like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, for all our
And then they're
viewers.
going
Oh,
to
that's a good
lunch,
point.
but to where?
Yeah.
Let's.
One wants Panera, the
Here's-
other wants
The
Taco
other-
Bell.
Oh,
The other one wants.
I do want
whatever.
Ooh, Taco Bell. I like it.
Yeah, I've been weirdly craving Taco Bell.
Listen,
Ugh.
listen.
It's
This
You
is
say
a
that-
taco family.
You say that? Have you eaten it recently? It's very good.
It's still very good.
It's still very good.
I thought it would not
When you
hold
get
up.
it-
I was wrong.
When you get a bean burrito, are there pieces of bean in it, or is it?
Oh, it's
or is
bean,
it just
baby.
Slurry.
Oh,
It's bean, baby.
Bean, baby.
It's just slurry.
I don't know. I just eat it.
I
I just
haven't
chop
had
it down.
recently. I'm more interested now that they have many products that are made mostly of Doritos.
That Dorito taco is so stupid, but it's good.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one more scene. It won't be a long one.
Okay, sure.
But if we
It's
want to,
us carpooling to Phoenix.
it'll be a good like set the tone. So you leave the building. The secretary on the bottom floor just like gives you like a see ya. As you
I
go.
take her name.
Susan.
Desk, Susan.
Susan.
Susan Desk.
Susan.
Hot sauce. Poison.
Susan Botsworth.
That's her name.
Don't bots it out.
I'm gonna have to get an actual notepad to write down all these people's names in. 'Cause
I'll try to remember them. I wrote
Yes,
down
one.
Susan Botsworth. She's just like the front of the building.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, what floor?
also
Elevators that way."
She's also Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Susan the Botsworth here. Did I name anyone else Susan? Anyway, so you guys leave the building, and as you do, you're kind of just walking out, and there's a guy reading a newspaper on a bench outside. And as you walk past the bench, he puts the newspaper down and turns to you and says, "My boss needs to talk to you."
Who's that?
I work for LifeLock Industries. Heard of it? And you have heard of it.
Yeah.
LifeLock is the identity theft protection corporation, and it is you know this and you probably don't, that they have rumored to be hunting or like messing around with the lives of people who are shapeshifters. You guys don't know this. You do. This guy, and this guy is like, imagine a guy sitting on a bench in a derby hat reading a newspaper, but like a regular guy, and what you're imagining is right. He's like so fucking boring.
Yeah. But he's wearing a derby hat.
He's wearing a derby hat.
I'm imagining a women's derby hat.
Oh yeah.
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 Like
I don't even know.
Big floppy with like a flower.
Sure. I don't even know what a derby hat is. I'm just saying derby
Derby's
hat.
the brown. Is that a
Yeah.
bowler?
Oh, maybe
It's like a kind of like a
that's kind of
circle with, I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever hat you're
yeah.
picturing.
circle with rectangles.
Put what a derby hat is in the comments.
Yeah, whatever hat you're picturing is correct.
Yep.
And yeah, he looks up and he says, "They want to talk to you. He's got some information. We understand that you are involved in an investigation, and we have some information on the culprits that you might find interesting."
Oh, great! Thanks. What is it?
I'm not privy to that information, and even if I were, I've been instructed to inform you that my boss has information that he is willing to give you. That is all. And if you will come with me, I will direct you to the building, unless you know where it is.
I don't.
It's in town. It's not far, in fact. It's a couple streets over.
He hasn't been anywhere he can't walk to.
I came in my Jeep.
So,
I'm almost out of gas, though. Good point.
yes. Can he expect you there, or should I tell him to be disappointed?
Well, is this a sales pitch for identity?
No.
Because I already have
This
Norton
isn't a
on my
sales
computer.
pitch for anything.
I
Norton
don't.
sucks. It
I don't
uses
even have
up
a
too much
computer.
memory. We all know Norton sucks.
This episode's sponsored by Norton.
Not anymore.
Sponsored by a vast.
If you want information, if you want to know who's to deal with this whole thing, you can go talk to him. I don't personally care. I'm here to tell you. You want to do it, fine. You don't, fine. He wants to talk to you, though, is all I'm here to say. Understand? So can I tell him to expect you right away, or can I tell him to be disappointed?
Oh, he'd be like, right now? He wants us to go, like, right now?
Yeah, unless you're busy.
Oh, but it's...
I-
3:30.
I think it's this could be really advantageous information for you guys, but I have class, so I gotta go.
Okay. Oh, wait! I have, like, a little pocket calendar. Oh, good.
The guy,
The one that gets mailed to you by your dentist every year.
the guy looks at you and he's.
I haven't been to the dentist in years, you know. That's
Yeah.
the biggest score for me.
The guy kind of like looks at you and narrows his eyes and is like, "Class on at 3:30 on a Sunday?"
Yeah, it's a class that has field work in the field.
Yeah, what field?
She's a journalist, football field.
Football field? You got to work on the football field at 3:30 p.m. on a Sunday.
That's when the practice is, I think.
You're covering a practice.
It's for my journalism class. I'm supposed to be covering.
If you're scared, what do you got to be scared of, huh?
Nothing.
If you're scared, what do you got to be scared of, huh?
I'm really not scared. I'm just scared that I'm going to miss this class and lose these credits.
All right. Can you expect the other two of you?
Sure, yeah, I got nothing.
All right.
I
You
will
gonna-
be there.
You gonna go now? He wants to see you now.
I grab his hand.
Yeah,
Let's go.
his hand is.
Very clammy.
No.
Very dry.
Normal, like pretty normal, but like he's got a strong grip.
Oh, it's like, let's go.
So you're like grabbing his hand.
Yeah.
He like
Is this not-
when you reach out for his hand, he like grabs your wrist in like a wrist lock.
Whoa!
That's called lifelock.
So like,
That's all, folks. There's your cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch me.
oh, my bad, man.
Yeah, you're bad. I won't touch you. You don't touch me. You understand? So are we going or not?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, fair. Sorry, we won't see you there. Real sorry, we won't see you there.
Same to you. I gotta get my bike.
And then he starts like briskly walking towards the office.
Okay. Sure.
Yep.
I'll just leave my car. Did you validate us?
Car's already
No.
been towed.
It's already been done.
It's fine. I'll just go.
There's just a lot. It's not LA. It's Arizona. There's parking lots.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot those exist.
Oh, yeah, it is. Like, I legitimately do forget those exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's going to start walking. You can follow him or not. It doesn't matter. He's going to keep walking either way.
Sure. Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah.
Are you heading off somewhere else?
Yep, I'm getting the fuck out of town.
Fully out of town?
No.
For real?
Goodbye.
End of character. Make a new
End
character.
of character.
Yeah.
No, I am, going straight to class where I can appear to be fully human and nothing else.
You actually have a class?
No.
But you'll
Okay.
go into, like, the journalism, like, room or...
Yeah, I'm just going to campus where I can be surrounded by other people who are witnesses.
Yeah.
So that
Great. So we'll deal with that if there's anything to deal with. Let's play out this real quick. So, so you guys go over to the LifeLock offices, and the guy has like went in the building, but he's like going somewhere else. Like he's not like escorting you up.
I follow him to like
Where are you going?
with you, aren't
No.
you?
You're going up to talk to the boss.
Oh.
I'm not the boss. What do you think? What do you think?
Well,
What do you think?
I thought you were walking us there. That's all.
I've walked you to the building, and now, like, figure it out from here. Go up the elevator, like, talk to the secretary, like, deal with,
Okay.
you know.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Mr. What's his name?
Don't worry about it.
That's a long name. Bye.
You knew that wasn't my actual
I
name.
was making a
Did
joke.
I?
You
was
were making a joke.
I was making a joke.
I didn't think it was that funny.
I like your hat though.
I do too.
And then they kiss.
And then we kiss, and then he says, "Don't touch me when I kiss you."
Cool. So you guys go up, I assume, to like the reception area, ask where you're going. Probably they direct the person in the front directs you to just sit for a second, and she'll tell the boss you're here.
Who are we meeting?
The CEO.
I'm asking her.
Oh.
Who are we meeting?
The CEO, I suppose.
Oh, we didn't get a name or anything.
He didn't give you any names.
Mr. Lifelock.
I think I recognize this building just as one that one of my lovebirds flew into. Like
And
into a
died?
window.
Oh, like,
yeah.
oh,
just into
no.
And die.
Oh no.
Where it's just like, it just feels bad to me, but I don't have any like
Sure.
actual.
Yeah. And like as far as you guys know, this place is a company that does
Yeah.
business, and it's like, why would anything?
I figured that they locked someone's identity who did it.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Yeah. So a couple minutes go by. The secretary is like, "Oh, Mr. Montaigne will see you. He's right in there."
Is this the real name of the Flyflux CEO?
No, it's not. I didn't want to use it. And she like opens the door for you and comes in, and there's just an older, probably like 60s, fully bald guy in like a nice suit, sitting at a desk like writing something. Who knows what?
How did they know that? What?
And he
Wait a
looks.
second.
He looks. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
I appreciate you all coming. I understand it's strange circumstances, but I appreciate you accepting my invitation to speak to you.
What is this all about?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gordon Montaigne. I am the CEO of LifeLock Industries. And I believe I have some information that might be pertinent to the investigation that I believe you are embarking on. I understand there was an incident at a wedding today that you were all involved in, and I understand that you may be working with Mr. Apollo at First Solar to understand the details of this. Is that all correct?
How do you know that?
Sir, we are an industry that protects people's identities, and in doing so, there are certain pieces of information that we find out. Protecting people's identities goes a little deeper than you might think, and that involves knowing what there is to protect.
Oh, okay.
Our business is information, the protection of which. Your secrets are safe with us. We understand...
But only if we pay for $19.99 a month?
Oh, no. Well, there's...
I have Norton.
Well, that's fine.
So, I already have that.
I don't
That's
have
fine.
a computer.
It's not about computers, it's about identities, it's about who you are. For instance, you're Mr. Phil Paschetti. You're a wizard of some small amount of power who masquerades as a glassblower, is a bit of a vagrant. You've been around town for about 7 or 8 years. You've lived all around the area. You have some minor talent, but you don't show people. You make a good show of covering it up by having magical instruments in your home that you pretend to use glassblowers on, and you go about using small jobs and getting by as best you can while living off the grid. Is that correct, Mr. Paschetti?
Whoa, spooky!
And I could do the same for you if you'd like, Mrs. Clearwater. Ms. Clearwater, always the miss, a bit of a romantic, but you've never found the one. You've had a few good tries, but the guys didn't work out because they never quite good enough.
That's quite plenty.
Isn't it?
That's quite plenty, thank you.
Isn't it?
So as you can see, our business is identities, protecting them. You have nothing to fear from me. What kind of a hypocrite would I be if any of this information about you ever got out into the public?
Then tell us your identity.
I'm Gordon Montaigne. I'm the CEO of LifeLock Industries. I started this business because I wanted to make sure that people had a safe way to protect their identities. 25 years ago, my son was killed by my daughter, who is a shapeshifter, who can turn into a giant snake.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's... Whoa. A giant snake was at this wedding.
You're catching up. It's very good. So I
appreciate you being willing to share so much about yourself. A lot of people aren't as open as you, and I really appreciate that.
I know, and I wish they were. I truly do. I understand that it's strange to have someone come out of the woodwork and say, come into the... I understand that, but truly, I want to be an open book with you both, and I believe we can help each other, and I just wanted to give you this bit of information so that... And I'll be totally frank. I'd like to know where my daughter is. I think she's a dangerous person. She's eluded the police for quite some time, and she's never been held to justice for the murder of my son. And quite frankly, I'd like to know where she is as well, and I believe that serves both of our needs.
I have no problem following people out of the woodwork. Some of my best friends are out of the woodwork.
Here's what I'd say to you. If you would, I have a couple of leads that I've been unable to follow up. If you're able to find her, I'd like to know. That's all I ask, is that you include me in your investigation. I'd like help finding her, and I believe if you find her, you'll find whatever's at the root of this attack that happened today.
Can you do that spooky thing with your daughter's identity, or what?
There's nothing spooky about it. There's research, there's investigators, there's people working overtime. There's nothing spooky. I'm not magically or divinely connected like you two are. I'm a man who runs a company who has a web of people working.
Got it.
I wish I could tell you exactly what her whereabouts are. I will tell you I know that she is organizing people together who have the similar powers that she does. And I believe that she is working with them to provide some kind of dangerous group who will do I don't know what. So I'd like to figure that out and assist the police in figuring that out.
Why? Why the police, though?
They're a danger to this area.
I agree. The police are a danger to this area. I mean, totally.
I
Have you seen all
understand.
of the
Listen,
statistics?
we're going to agree to disagree. And you don't, frankly, if you don't want the police involved, fine.
I don't.
You can handle this however you want. All I would like to know is where the woman who murdered my son, who also happens to be my daughter, I phrased that strangely, where my daughter, who murdered my son, is hiding.
Who also happens to be your daughter. Got it.
Got it? Not quite, but that's fine. I'd like to know where she's hiding, and I'd like her brought to justice.
Oh.
I don't
all
wish
right.
her harm. I don't wish her dead.
Can you
I don't
lock
want
her up?
any of it. Can I lock her up? No, I want her to face the due justice of the legal system. And we can
Okay.
agree on the effectivity of that, but that's all I want.
Okay.
I want there to be an investigation. I want her to face justice for what she
the
did.
cops like don't know about magic and stuff, right? They like.
No, I
don't-
understand that. But I don't have anything else.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have. And he like the poor guy like this is like a little small old man who's
Yeah.
just like he kind of like starts crying a little bit of like I promised him that I would make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else, and I don't know how else to, and I'm asking you please help me.
Sure. Yeah. Heavy.
Sure. I hand him a handkerchief that I carry on my person.
Thank you.
That's
So
embroidered.
he
with
kind
your
of like
initials.
Yep.
pulls himself together and he mentions that there's a member of her group who has been stalking the streets recently and causing all kinds of havoc. And it is a person who can turn into a horse. And he's been charging around the streets using guns and hooves to...
Wait, a horse that can use guns? Oh, when he's a person.
He's a shapeshifter
Got it.
and is very dangerous.
I don't know. There could be a horse. There's horses with horns on their heads. And wings. There could be a horse with little arms.
There certainly could be. I don't doubt that. But he's been known to be around at night, doing God knows what in the streets. And if you can find him, he might be a link back to wherever they're hiding. I know that they're they're working on something, and I'm quite frankly scared of what that could be.
Probably looking for oats.
Probably
We'll
looking.
get him.
I like that joke.
Thanks. That was
You're
a good
welcome.
joke. The guy who took us here has no sense of humor.
No, he doesn't.
Where did he get his hat? Can you tell me where he got his hat?
I don't know where he got his hat. That's a good question. I will try to find out.
Okay, one of his hats.
If you know what, I will make sure you get one. You all get one of those hats, or a hat of your choice,
Thank you.
Score!
plus a stipend of whatever I can spare, to pay for your time during this. If I don't want to,
Oh, money?
of course, I'm not going to ask you just to do this out of the goodness of your heart. It's like,
Hey,
this is a commodity.
Hey, man, thanks so much.
Of course. So that is all I know for now. I've had people trailing. Perhaps I can call you if we get a sighting of this person.
No.
No phones.
No.
Here's my
I know.
card.
Thank you. I already know this.
Just
Still
be
gonna hand it.
formal about it.
Yeah.
Getting consent to use that information.
Perhaps he's been seen most nights around the city, so perhaps we can call, or if you find anything you can call me. Here's my card.
I already knew that.
No, you didn't. But I do like it. It's a funny joke.
I like this guy.
And we can work together to see if it leads back to them. Again, I don't want you to charge in and hurt these people. I don't want anything. I want to make sure that there's nothing dangerous they're planning, and perhaps we can talk from there and see what's going on.
Do you know if they're connected to the Phoenix?
I don't believe so. I don't know. I know the Phoenix is it takes care of the area. I know it's said to, defend the town from magical threat from various. That's one thing that I don't know. I do know the Phoenix's organization. I do know some about that. I know
Do
some
you
of
have
the
their
people.
card?
I don't have their card, but I can tell you where they're based. if you would so choose.
Oh yeah,
That would be great.
please.
Have you been to the airport?
Yes.
You've been to the
I
airport.
have been to the
Have you
airport.
been to the airport?
I've been to an airport.
Have you been to the Phoenix airport?
No.
There's the Phoenix International Sky Harbor. Is the name of the airport?
That's so funny.
Uh-huh.
Sky Harbor.
That's the actual
That's real.
Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport.
It's the Pish.
Yeah, the Pish. The
Pish.
The Psia. Hangar 9. Talk to the Southwest Airlines desk and ask for the Phoenix. And they should be able to tell you. I don't think there's much of a... They're not terribly secretive from what I can tell. They just...
Ask.
It might be difficult knowing Southwest Airlines. They'll have to probably call in a manager, but...
Sick bird.
Heather just hates Southwest Airlines.
Oh,
'cause
everyone hates
Every
South-
time she's ever tried to schedule something, some family member to fly in on a wedding, if they pick Southwest, she's just like, oh God.
Surprised your birds get caught in some.
Jet engines.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bird strike.
Cool. So thank you. Is there anything you need? Is there anything I can help you with? I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. I know I'm a bit. I've spent a long time, trying to accomplish this, and I feel like we're close, and I just want this to happen, and I'm so appreciative that you could help with this. Is there anything you need before we?
No, thanks for the info.
Very
We'll give you a
much.
call if we see this
course.
shapeshifter out on the streets, and we'll let you know. And if you see anything, please give me a call, and we will. That's my direct line. And again, thank you so much.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else you need in the scene before we?
No.
Cool. So you head back to school,
Mm-hmm.
and you're on your bike,
Yep.
and you very quickly sense that there is a car behind you. Not like right behind you,
Not
but
like-
you feel it's, but like you feel like you're being followed.
Oh no.
Oh. Fish.
Fish.
Okay. I'm gonna. How far am I starting from campus?
You are on a bike,
Yeah.
probably. Let's say you're about 20 minutes of a bike ride away.
Okay.
So, yeah, what do you do? Because it'll all depend what you do, how this plays out.
I'm going to. So, based on my knowledge of bike-friendly campuses in Davis, I'm going to. I think I am going to have to spend a fate point in order to do this. I'm going to declare that the bike lane on the road that I'm currently cycling on, it separates, and there is a bike-only path.
Great.
That,
And let's say because your high concept aspect is student werecat journalist, that the student part means like this campus
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
in and out. Like
yeah.
I think that fits well. So
Okay.
there is a bike path that like kind of splits off
It,
from
like-
the actual road.
Yeah, it's
And-
like one of those, where they build a bike path when the roads start to get towards like a bigger road, so that cyclists
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, for sure.
Someplace where people jog. And
It's basically like the car can't get into that.
Yeah.
So-
it becomes like a sidewalk.
Great. So you split off on that, and the car kind of like slowly drives past it, and you look back real quick as it's going, and you see in the driver's seat the guy in the derby hat, and he just kind of like cranes his head to watch you as you like continue on as he drives past. Cool. So you're still probably, let's say that was 5 minutes of the
Yeah.
20 minutes. You're still 15 minutes away from where you are trying to get to.
Yeah.
What's next? You've gone off a bike path, diverted from the road. What's next?
Yeah. So this bike path gets around roads by going underground in a tunnel to go underneath, or either above or over underneath a busy street.
Cool.
And I'm gonna, and if this is protected from view, I'm going to hop off my bike in there and become a cat.
Cool. So like you're thinking it like dips down under a road or something?
Yeah. I'm imagining very specifically this one tunnel in Davis so that like you could go underneath a busy street instead of having to cross it.
Cool.
And there's a tunnel it's very short, but in that you're out of view from anyone.
Cool.
Pretty much.
So let's say that's like the next 5 minutes is you're like following the bike path a bit and it goes down into a tunnel. You kind of dip down into it where you're like planning on like shape shifting.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave my bike somewhere I can get it later.
So you go down into the tunnel, put your bike aside, turn to like go forward, and at the end of the tunnel is standing in the middle is a guy in a brown derby looking straight at you, blocking the other side of the tunnel.
Shit.
You haven't shapeshifted yet, but you certainly could. What do? You're about 10 minutes away on a bike / running
From
where you want to get to, which is like safety campus with like people around.
Safety.
Lots of.
And how far away is this guy from me?
He's like, this is like a little tunnel under a road.
Yeah.
So like it's like the width of a road. He's like standing on the other side in the middle, looking at you, just like hands at his side. Like basically you can see the shadow of the derby cap and then like a black outline in the light.
So creepy.
I know this is like Slender Man.
Oh yeah, it's Slender Man.
Uh,
That would be so funny to have in a fake game, just Slender Man.
Derby style Slender Man.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? This is not necessarily a fight, but it could turn into one. It depends what you want to do.
Nothing.
My feet are really cold because I'm scared.
Oh yeah. When I get scared, my feet turn cold.
It's true. I think so here I'm just gonna talk through my thinking here. So as a human, my top approaches are intellect, guile, and flair.
Mm-hmm.
So I can try to charm my way out of this.
Certainly.
Or
trick your way out of it is also an application of guile.
trick my way out of it, yeah.
Stunt your way out of it. Do some sick stunts.
Or I can
Be haste, I think.
I can bolt in the opposite direction, become a wildcat, and or a bobcat, and become a wildcat.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Transfer schools.
Transfer schools real quick.
Go Cats.
That's a haste and in.
I would never.
Also, you don't have to get to where you were going. If you
Yeah.
want to change the plan, that's fine.
Well, my other thing that I'm thinking is that as a cat, I technically am in sort of safety anywhere I can be seen because I'm a protected species and humans can't. In Arizona, bobcats cannot be affected by, like, I can't be trapped or caught or hurt.
Well, as long as the person doesn't want to be in trouble.
Yeah,
or if they know that. Not everyone might know that, but that isn't interesting.
I would have the law on my side in that case,
Yeah.
I guess.
You could shout that out and then turn into a bobcat.
Bobcats are a protected species, and then just run.
Touch me and you'll go to jail. Bobcat turn into one. That's a viable option.
Oh my god. But then he'd know for sure.
I know, that's the other thing, is that then I'd give it away.
You can't be in two places at once, though. You could go back the other direction.
It's your call.
Go to a sewer. It's style.
Here's what I'll say.
I'm so nervous.
So you've went a little in the tunnel. You look up while you're putting your bike down. You see him at the other end of the tunnel. And you're right. You can't be in two places at once. And you turn around, and he's on the other side of the tunnel, too.
Oh no. He can be in two places at once.
I'm going to give you a fate point for that as a compel for a reason you don't know. But, yes. Wouldn't it be funny, compel, because of what you said.
Yeah.
But yes, he is at both sides of the tunnel, and you are in the middle.
Oh no. Whatever side I am. Oh man.
Whatever you feel like, because It could be anything.
I don't know. It's not often in Dresden that like characters die, but I like feel like I'm scared for my life.
Here's the other
this
thing.
tunnel.
So this is one thing we haven't talked about is just the rules for like getting taken out.
Yeah.
So if you get in a combat at any point in a conflict, you can concede.
Yeah.
At which point the conflict ends, and it's basically like if none of your conditions are marked off, you get to just choose how it ends.
Okay.
And if that's like I run away and I get away barely, and like that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like if your imperil is marked off, like you could be like knocked unconscious. If your doomed is marked off, like
You could be dead.
you could be killed, but only if the thing that took you out, like if you couldn't have like taken any more stress. There's still like 2 variations of it, even if you're doomed. It's
Okay.
like it's going to be dire still,
Okay.
but it might not be death necessarily.
Dire bear.
But like if you could, if you like got into a conflict
Yeah.
and it went bad, you could choose to concede, and you get a say in how it ends.
Okay. He's in both sides of the tunnel at once, so I don't think there's a way I'm getting, even if I were to like run away as a human or as a cat, that this would go well. So I'm going to talk to the apparition of him that appears closest to me, and approach him as if I have nothing to hide.
Great. So like,
Can
what
I
are you
help
saying?
you?
Can
Be
I?
like, can I help you? Or
Follow me.
yeah, or be like, did you need extra information? My friends didn't go to the meeting with the CEO.
Both of them. No, the one on the other side, the far side of the tunnel, says, "We know what you're up to," and then the one on the other side says, "We know what you're planning," and then they both say, "And we're not gonna let it happen," together.
I honestly don't know what you mean. I'm not investigating LifeLock. I don't have.
We don't think you're investigating LifeLock. You shapeshifters are up to something, and we are not going to let it happen.
I think you must have me confused for someone else.
I think you're wrong. You want to turn in? Come here, kitty kitty. Looks like the cat's got her tongue. Eh, friendo? That's right, buddy.
Talk about a friendly audience.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Gesundheit.
So we can do this one of 2 ways. You can fight us, we can kill you. You can run, we can chase you. You can come with us.
There was no second clause to
That
that.
was 3 things.
Did I say you wanted 2 ways? God damn it, you did it again. You always say 2 ways and do 3, you
not-
idiot. I'm sorry, it's a high stress situation.
Oh my god. They're both from New Jersey.
You can fight us and we can kill you. You can run and we can chase you. You can come with us and meh.
It's a little bit better with the parallels.
Yeah. You can come with us, ...
That face.
That's it.
Just, I'm willing to tell you everything I know, but I
We already know everything there is to know.
well, I'm
not there, so I can't make obvious points like Phil looks at it.
I'm really not part of any organized group of shapeshifters or anything. This is
Make a guile roll. And this will be opposed by their...
Bile.
I'm not
vile.
even sure what it would be opposed by. Let me think for a second.
Focus. They're focused on
probably-
a task.
Probably focus.
okay.
What did you roll? Yeah. So here's what they say. So you're basically trying to convince them, like, I'm not part of this. I'm
not who you're looking for.
Great. So the one on the far side of the tunnel says, "Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you for letting us know. I appreciate that. We might have had the wrong person." And the other one says, "Yeah, I actually, maybe you don't exactly match, the description of the shapeshifters, or you might not be working with them." And then, they say, "Okay, so we apologize. If you're not working with them, you're not working with them. It's good to know. We believe you."
Great.
And then the one on the far side reaches his hand in his pocket and say, "That said, we don't so much care if you're working with them or not." And two of them pull out pistols and ready them.
I think regardless of what would be the best course of action, the extreme fear would turn me into a cat.
I'm a cat now. Great.
All my hair stands.
We'll let you go first, and since you're like shifting all of a sudden, what do you want to do? And this doesn't have to be a full-out fight. It can be if you so choose. Doesn't have to be, but this is a conflict of some type, and this will be
Eat the guns.
Eat the guns.
Eat the gun.
Yes, my mantle is gun eater.
I made myself a new mantle.
Low 505 is rooting for you. Get him, Bobcat. He says he believes in you.
I'm so scared. I'm just a bobcat.
Or a mountain lion.
I'm a Barbara cat, actually, because I'm female.
That's not how that works.
That's 100% how it works.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. They're both on each side of the tunnel, and I'm sort of in the center of the tunnel, or am I?
Yes, and I want to say, not that I don't want to influence this in any way. I just want you to know, because we're still like new-ish to the system, you don't have to fight anything. You could try to get your way out any way you want. This is not me saying like you gotta fight them.
No.
You could fight them.
They're
Absolutely.
going to try to fight you.
They're going to try to fight you.
Yeah.
It's
No,
up
my
to
response to them fighting is to run the fuck away.
And you could. So basically, what you.
I'm just trying to discern whether or not they're like.
I'd say we could say this is a concession if you wanted to. If you truly don't want to fight them, if you want to get away, like we can make that absolutely be the case that happens. They'll get a say in how it happens, but like that could be a concession. And you get a fate point for that actually for conceding a combat. Or you could try to fight him and then see if it doesn't work, you could concede. You could try to run away, and if it doesn't work, you can concede. But then, like, the terms of the concession will vary based on what's happened.
I'm wondering if I could, in this one turn, as I become a cat, like, if I was a wolf, I could howl, and if I was a cat, I could make some other kind of
Yowl.
noise.
Yeah.
And
Meow.
beast whisper to any possible mountain lions in the region.
There's a specific stunt for that you did not take, but you could. There is absolutely a stunt that you could take if you wanted. That is like something like summon a related beast.
The reason I didn't, I think if I remember correctly, so like I still have beast whisperer, but bobcats are actually not a pack animal. They like only exist in. So
I think
there are snakes, and you can do it as a werewolf.
It's basically like if you want to be able to like call in reinforcements that aren't already in the area, you would probably have to take that stunt. But then you could do it all the time of just like
be like, come on, cats.
Yeah, go cats.
Go cats.
Come cats, go cats. I forget exactly what it was. I can check. It's basically Beast Caller, once per session, garner the aid of an animal or group of animals of your type. Choose one of the following benefits: +4 to any one action, a situation aspect with 2 free invokes, or automatic success on an overcome roll. So if you want to take that stunt right now, you could, and basically summon cats of some type to either give you +4 to any roll,
help you overcome
someone trying to stop you
from leaving.
Basically, like
overcome them, not let them leave.
Yeah, like if you tried to run away and they tried to stop you, you could like basically auto succeed on that by having some form of cats help you. But you'd have to take a stunt for that, and your refresh would be reduced by 1.
I think I'm gonna have to do that.
That's very fair. So just for now, write down Beast Caller, and
Okay.
we'll put that in later.
Okay.
And how do you want that to manifest? You basically are calling cats of any type to come help you. Are you trying to basically just like scramble past them as quickly as you can?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. I guess I would. What I would want these other cats to do is like distract. I guess, so that I can escape.
So there's like I remember our college had campus rabbits a lot. Like
Oh,
there were
really?
just rabbits everywhere. You remember?
we had turkeys and squirrels.
Yeah. So this Arizona State has cats.
Has feral cats.
Has feral house cats, like a community of them.
Yeah.
Probably not a fan of your flock of lovebirds.
Nope.
And vice versa, but that's fine.
Because there's drains everywhere,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
at the bottom of something that goes underneath
Oh yeah.
a road.
Yeah.
So let's say you like shift into bobcat form.
Sewer cats.
Sewer cats.
Sewer cats.
They
Go sewer cats.
they pull out their guns and like take
The cats pull out their
steps,
gun-
take 2 steps, and you just like yowl, and you hear this like meow back, and like you're in this tunnel, and maybe there is like a grate
Yeah.
to the tunnel that kind of just like is a little bit cocked,
Just 100 cats come out of it.
and these cats like run out, and as you start running towards one of the guards, they run in front of you and leap at his face, and he's like puts his arms up to block them, and you like jump right past him as you go and just run out as fast as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
to the closest wildlife preserve I can find.
You hear behind you gunshots, not as if they're killing those cats, but as if they're shooting after you.
Okay.
Well,
They're not. Yeah, they're not. They have no interest in that, unless they're werecats.
how do
Yeah,
they
how
know?
would they know?
Who knows? Maybe they'll go in to test them. So they're like but you hear them like firing off shots as you go.
Yeah.
A couple, like 3, and then like it stops. And you run as fast as you possibly can.
Yup.
Yeah, where are you going?
Wildlife preserve.
Wildlife preserve. Yeah, somewhere to safety. Can I just leave it at to safety?
To safety. Yeah, you don't have to specifically go in. You're going off to hide somewhere, and then you'll come back to.
Football practice.
Yeah, you do have to go to that football practice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Running to
Great.
Arizona University. of Arizona.
Shall we leave it there for
Yeah,
the
let's
session?
leave it there.
Cool. So
Woo.
thank you guys for joining us. Anyone who's
thanks.
watching the stream. If anybody joined in late, we're going to put this up as soon as we can on the Twitch channel, on the YouTube channel. Try to get those up tonight if we can, as well as that first session that we mentioned earlier where we created the characters in the world. And yeah, we'll get that up. Twitch, YouTube, it's all listed under us down below. There's links for
Underneath
everything.
The table.
There's links for everything, as well as a link to our Twitter. Follow us, and we'll let you know when we're streaming. But we're going to try to be here as many Sundays as we can at 1 and follow these adventures. I'm glad you all lived through a first session.
Yay!
I almost didn't.
We'll see you then next time. Ow.
Smash my finger.
Go cats.
Go smash.